Okay, we're getting started a little bit late this morning, but I'd like to call the November 28th meeting of the County Commissioners in Carroll County to order. And we'll hear from public comments. Mr. Babson.
Mr. Chairman, I had something to do in Concord today, a meeting, and so I went to the webpage last night to see if this agenda was on it.
Yeah.
And as you recall, last week, Mrs. Spencer intimated that perhaps I was mentally challenged when it came to the website and that I shouldn't be looking under commissioners where it says minutes and agendas and there aren't any, that I should somehow know that I'm supposed to click on the calendar and the date.
Yeah.
Well, this week, I believe I did it correctly, and there's nothing there. Why?
There
Why
should
do
have
the
been
commissioners
agenda was-
continually allow themselves to be in this hassle every week when, according to some people, it's a relatively simple thing to put this on the webpage?
When did you look for it?
Last night.
It should have been on because I looked, they called me about the agenda, I believe it was on Monday, so it should
Even
have had
this
plenty of
morning,
time.
he got the same thing. He didn't
I
get
just
it
did
either.
it this morning,
And you didn't get anything?
nothing there.
Oh, no.
I checked it this morning, nothing there as well.
Okay.
And I might further point out, Mr. Chairman, if we had a Wi-Fi here, we could all look at our electronic things and see for ourselves whether it was
Yeah.
there or not.
Yeah. Okay, anything further?
The one thing about the three-party going, alleged party going jail
Yeah.
staff members, I'm under the understanding it was the commissioner's decision to put them on leave. Would they be on leave till they get their day in court? Is that going to be the policy, or is there a time frame for when they might?
The county attorney is checking with the Ossipee Police Department to see what the status is of those three and the investigation.
We know, I think their court date's sometime in December. I think
I
it's-
have no idea.
Okay. But is there a policy at all that says, well, if you're a county employee and you get charged with a crime, you go on leave until you get a day in court? Or is that,
Until the investigation is completed.
the internal investigation, not necessarily the
No,
criminal?
the Ossipee Police investigation.
Well, they already made their charges, so now it's up to the court. So,
I haven't seen the investigation
okay.
or the report. The county attorney is supposed to be checking on it. I talked with him yesterday about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Brown,
Where do we stand on the county list for the nursing home?
the county list, you mean the waiting list?
Yes.
They're working on it.
We have one, that's all I know. What do you mean, where do we stand?
Well, the one that Mr. Chandler was working on,
Yeah,
They're working on it.
where do we stand on that?
from what I understand, he's still working on it. I haven't heard anything back. He was gonna meet, my last understanding was he was gonna meet with several people over at the nursing home and discuss it, and I haven't heard.
He's working with the committee.
Morning.
Oh, how's that pole barn coming along? Every
The
once in a while, I get a comment from people that go check out the pole barn.
Yeah,
How's that coming along?
you know how it's coming along.
I don't know.
Are you leading me?
No, I'm just. Is it done? Is it?
We had a problem with it over the weekend,
Oh,
yeah.
I honestly hadn't seen it. I just heard it was big.
That's right, it is, it was big.
What was the problem?
It blew down.
Wow. Do we have insurance on it?
We're checking on it,
Okay.
Go down.
yeah. Anybody else got any public input? Mr.
Before you
Babson?
get to the minutes, Mr. Chairman, there's a sentence here that I don't understand. Mr. Brown seconded that. Commissioner Solomon stated that this disagrees with the county attorney and not the commissioner. Mr. Babson stated, quote unquote, then yes, the attorney. I don't know what that means.
Where are you? On what paragraph?
First one.
The first paragraph, at the bottom, next, bottom 3 line. Mr. Babson stated, then yes, the attorney. People accuse me of having a lot to say. I
November
don't
20,
believe I was that
are you
brief.
looking at November 21st?
Yeah.
Yep.
What is your, so Commissioner Solomon say that he disagree with,
Mr. Babson stated, then yes, the attorney. What's that mean?
Mr. Babson say that yes, yes. Oh, I think it was a conversation about the comment, about public comments. And I think Commissioner Solomon said something, and I think you said something.
Well, I'd just like to point it out, there's something missing there. Thank you.
I think what it
Okay, so-
refers to is that you are then not addressing the commissioners with your comment, but rather the attorney.
I would hope you'd make that clearer. Thank you.
Okay, I have to
Oh, one more.
listen to it.
Is the delegation going to talk about the old nursing home?
That's up to the delegation, isn't it?
It is up to the delegation.
So then why ask us?
Yeah.
Well, I just figured,
We have no answer for that.
no answer.
It's not on the agenda
I don't
right
know.
now.
Oh, it's not.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Come on, Dave.
Anybody else? Public comment?
We're good.
If not, then we'll move into the minutes.
Yeah, and then I want to add something about a check. I
About
want to
what?
say something about a check after the minutes. I have some paperwork here. Let's see which. Yes.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Could you introduce the new minute?
Yes, that would be nice.
Go ahead.
We have a new minute taker. Her name is Nancy.
DeRosiers.
DeRosiers.
Nancy DeRosiers.
She is
From Effingham.
from Effingham, and she will be taking the minutes from this day forward, I hope. I have given her some old minutes to look over so that she will have an understanding of what the minutes we do should look like.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, where are we on the minutes?
Okay, Mr. Babson had stated a comment, so I think we have to go back to the recording and listen and fill that in. And at the end, the roll call vote, I want to add the whole motion and who seconded, and then the roll call. And the time, I'd like to put in also.
I have extensive corrections to these minutes, and I've only gotten through half of them. So this will be some, I will have to,
What do you mean with this? Do you mean grammar?
yes, understanding, trying to figure out what it says. So I will finish up what I have to do. I just haven't had time to do it
All
yet.
right,
We can go later on it.
we'll do it later then. Do you have something else that you want to bring up?
There were minutes from the 21st, I mean, excuse me, from the 14th. Are those now corrected?
I think she sent it in, and she corrected the corrections, what we said, she put it in. I don't have it in front of me, but she said she did put the corrections in.
No, you didn't.
She didn't put the corrections in?
At least not what I corrected.
I have only the 21st.
Well, here are the minutes that I corrected. That's-
Because we didn't have a lot of corrections for the 14th.
Yeah. That's what I did. They're not corrected yet.
And I will let her know.
Okay.
The 14th and the 21st, to check it out.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't have an agenda. Do we have non-public on the agenda today?
yes,
I don't
Because
see
we
any.
need to add personnel, because I had to look into that independent
Okay.
investigator. So we need to put it
Dewhurst
in.
is coming in at
Is he coming too?
10:15. Yeah.
That's not good.
Okay, so
It
I have
could
all
be I don't know
what
Doesn't
he's
say.
coming
if
for.
he's going to have it non-public or not.
It doesn't say
it's
what he's
non-public.
coming for.
Doesn't say that it's
Yep.
non-public, you're right.
Okay, but I want to add non-public for
Okay.
personnel.
Okay, at the end?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, do we have any other reports to make?
I don't think we ever announced that we have an official complaint filed against the board.
Right. Okay.
Because you said against elected official, we need to announce it, and
Yeah.
actually we never did. There is an official complaint filed by an employee against the Board of Commissioners, named 2 commissioners. And we're going to look into and hire somebody to look in this, in the conduct of the commissioners.
Okay, since there are no other reports.
Well, is she talking about something that's already existing, or is this something new?
No, it's new.
This is new, yeah.
I think it was filed, was it November 7th? Beginning of November.
Is this one that they're gonna air publicly, like the other ones?
Air publicly.
The grievances that we've had previously, people have made a
This
production.
isn't a grievance, it's a
It's a
complaint.
complaint.
Okay.
And Commissioner Kenny is looking into someone from outside the county to do the investigation.
And I find somebody,
So just
finally.
like the other ones?
A county employee and not another attorney,
Okay.
okay?
But doesn't Primex recommend, Primex only recommended an outside attorney because we didn't have a HR person? Is that?
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about
In
either.
in 2 of the grievances.
past?
Right.
Yeah,
We hired an outside person
yeah,
For which grievance?
for Reed and Woodburn.
because the HR person was.
No,
the
for
HR
Reed was
person was-
Swatch.
Right.
And for, I think Woodburn was the outside attorney.
Yeah.
But our legal counsel said that we needed somebody with a healthcare background to look in those issues. So even if we had the HR person, she couldn't look into it.
Okay.
She didn't advise that. And the third one, we had our new HR person looking into that.
And
And this is a fourth one.
the fourth
This
one.
is a complaint. And we're getting assistance from somewhere else. to
Can we
look
get
into
can we
it.
get a copy of the complaint?
That's,
The complaint is filed, that is up to the person that filed it, the employee.
yeah.
Who's the employee?
I'm not saying any name at this moment.
We'll let you know as things progress, okay?
Okay.
Let's move on with the regular meeting. Will, I think you're first on the agenda.
Morning.
Good, Donnie.
Fortunately, much as I hate to come to commissioners with bad news, the cat's already out of the bag here this morning. That we had a problem and the pole barn went over on us this weekend. I don't exactly know what went wrong. There are suggestions because of the high wind, maybe we had a microburst out there that knocked it over. The construction wasn't complete, the roof wasn't on yet. We were still in the middle of putting the purlins on to roof it. We did have a lot of bracing. Suggestions afterwards, it's always easy to Monday night quarterback a situation and say maybe we should add more bracing. Obviously, if the wind is strong out there. We knew it was strong, but we didn't know it was that strong and it would act like a sail out there. So unfortunately, it went over. I think it's just going to be a small setback for right now. We've contacted the insurance company. I talked with them last night. Hopefully either today or tomorrow they'll be sending a adjuster out to take a look at it. I'm not sure financially what's going to happen on that end. My concern is right now, I told the lady that I would really like to get, a lot of materials are salvageable that are out there. It's not like it was an explosion. It basically just went over. There's a lot of things that we could salvage, and I'd like to get those cleaned up and protected for the wintertime before we got a foot of snow out there so that we can reuse those materials. So she understood that, and Primex is hopefully going to be moving right along to get us the green light, at least get pictures or someone look at it, whatever they need, get us the green light to start cleaning that stuff up. I've had the building inspector came out, the town and building inspector came out while we were building it, took a look at it, told him what we were doing, how we were doing it. He seemed to think it was very strong. When I showed up Monday morning to tell him, I asked him to come out and take a look and see if we did something wrong. He was shocked that it actually went down. He's like, wow, you guys were building that really well, very strong. He did come out Monday and took a look at it, and then he came back out yesterday, took another look at it. Also has been very helpful, been giving me lots of suggestions that because we're up against so much wind out there, when we rebuild it, some of the extra things that we can do over and beyond normal to help prevent that and stand up to the wind out there. So that's basically what's happening. It's set us back, I think next year we'll get it up and get it right. Financially, it's going to take a little bit to see what the insurance is going to do. I'll have to sort through the materials and see what we're lacking and need to buy to finish it again. I don't think that it's going to be a significant amount of money, to be honest. We don't really have, for the size of the building, we don't have a significant amount of money in the thing anyways. We're probably, I would guess, in the vicinity, either side of 15,000 that we got wrapped up into the building from start to finish.
Yeah.
And, we might have lost a little bit on that. We might have to put some more money into it, or insurance gives us money, whatever that works out to be. But for that size of a building, we're not out a lot of money.
No.
A lot of time and a lot of labor. I've been primarily the one out there. I've had the part-timer out there with me, but myself and the inmates primarily. So our labor costs were here anyways, but we've been working hard on it. I've come in a lot of weekends with the guys. We've stayed a lot of nights, 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's very disheartening to see it on the ground when we're out there. We've had a lot of people want to be negative about things with it, and just trying to ignore that for now. And we're gonna, I really want to, when I set my mind to doing something, and I come in here and I tell you folks that this is what we want to do. We were on track to have it done by Christmas, like I've been saying. Fortunately, we had this setback, so I'm going to have to reschedule that to possibly next Christmas, if that's okay. But when I set my mind to it, I like to get it, to do it. And so that's what we have going on with that.
I think the important thing is, as soon as the adjuster can look at it, that it get taken all apart and stored for the winter. I think you're right. I don't think there's that much damage. There's a lot that, most of it can be saved.
I think so also.
Yeah. So, it's not all lost, that's for sure.
Just a lot of time, but
A lot of time, a lot of labor, right.
but actual materials and money wise, I don't think we're out that extremely bad. So
Okay.
that's pretty much the only news that I have for the commissioners, because that's what we've been doing every day, is working on that until that happened this weekend. We're getting back into the swing of things. I've been waiting for, just a little update, I've been waiting for 6 weeks for parts for this wood processor we have. So this is our prime time for cutting wood, and here we are waiting 6 weeks for the machine to be down. I have to call someone in Quebec. There's only like 2 people in the whole shop that speak part English, and the rest of them are French when they answer the phone. And they have to order the parts from Finland, I believe. So it has to go from Finland to go back to here. And it's an extremely inefficient way we have going on, and trying to hang on to this and get through with this processor. It's another reason why I'm pushing for this new processor. I have some new ideas to present to the commissioners today. I heard there were some questions last week about some things. But it's just, that's what's been going on with the processor. So we got the parts in yesterday. I'm hoping to get it fixed today, and we get back out there processing. We started getting some cap orders coming in from the Tri-County Fuel Assistance Program. We start this time of the year, we start getting some of those in, so I'd like to take care of those customers and also start getting ahead for our campfire wood business.
On the new processor that you're looking at, is it made in this country?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, how wonderful.
The factory's
Finally.
over in Rutland, Vermont.
Vermont.
Good.
There are at least several, I can think of at least 2 off the top of my head, local vendors that we already have business accounts with here in Carroll County that we can either purchase them through or buy all the parts through. In worst case scenario, we can deal directly with the factory. I've been dealing directly with the factory as far as buying and getting all my pricing, the sales over there, but they are made right there. It's not set in stone that we have to get this model. I'm presenting this model, I've been presenting this model from day one, because it's made in America, it's got a good reputation, it'll do what we want to do. I think it's in the ballpark frame of what's reasonable for us to spend on something. I know it seems a lot of money, but we're talking about a pretty big business that we have dealing with the wood. And talking with the guy, you know, we're going to go over, assuming we get the financials worked out here in this period, we're going to go over before we buy anything. He's going to have a demo for us, let us demo it, so I can ask several questions. He'll help show us how to set it up, take it down. You know, it comes with all the manuals, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely, I definitely want to go with someone.
What's the brand name?
It's a Timberwolf.
Timberwolf?
It's the brand name, and their factory's over in Rutland, Vermont. So
What is the name of it?
Timberwolf.
Timberwolf.
And since we're leading into that conversation, to hopefully try to answer some of the questions that I wasn't here last week. I was just informed by someone that there were some questions about it. I was hoping to answer some of those questions.
I think one of the questions was $65,000.
Yes, what I originally, when you look at this, for him, I have a spare that I can review if you need afterwards, but I need it right now. If you look at what I have in red, what I have in black is originally what I proposed to the commissioners last year. And it was a total of $67,200. And reason why it was that is, as you can see, is they told me there's possibly to budget for a possible 5% increase because we don't purchase, you know, the budget wouldn't go through from October till March. That's why I did that. Talking to them this year, the prices hadn't changed. As you see in red, this is what I presented a couple weeks ago, so the $65,000. I kind of broke it out to show you. So those are what I've proposed. Another option, if we want to pay it straight out, $65,000, we can do that. Another option at the bottom is a financing option, kind of like what we did with the truck. At one point, you could make 3 annual payments of that amount, or 4 annual, or 5 annual, and it's $1 buyout. He told me there's no prepaid penalties if we decide to pay it off next year. These numbers aren't set in stone, he said, because come next March, interest rates could be lower. Who knows? You know, he said he's just giving us based off of right now. So it would be in that ballpark, though. And that's financing issues. I mean, I don't know if we would want to go ahead and try to go for, if you're taking obviously when you add these out and you times them out, there's interest payments associated with that that they're getting for financing it. But if you decided we want to do it for this first year, and then next year, you know, we work on this year of possibly getting a timber cut done and get a little money from that, and next year we just pay it all off and be done with it. You know, there's several different options. I don't know which the commissioners would like to consider. I was just asked to give some other options to you folks. But
We have presently $9,500 in capital, right?
yes, yeah.
So what's the first year and the second year? How much goes in the first year and the second year?
The first year you make the first payment. So
Which is what?
if you went with the 3-year plan, let's just say,
Yeah.
it's $24,000. So the year we go to purchase it, which say next spring, if we got all approved, we would have to put down $24,000. That'd be our first payment. And then the following March or April, whatever, is another $24,000, and then the following is another one. Unless we get to that second April and we want to pay the whole balance off and be done. He said there's no reason we can't do that. There's no penalties for doing that.
Did he tell you what the interest rate was?
Well, it's, on 3 years, it's $7,200 you're paying.
Right, around $7,000. So it comes out to over the 3 years, just over $2,000 a piece, $2,500 a piece, something like that. that you're paying for interest per year. If you're going with that, and each year above that, I think when you do the math, you're paying more and more. The farther you finance it out, the more interest you're paying. I didn't originally present this to the commissioners because last time we did a truck, we wanted to avoid that, and we wanted to do it all in once.
Yeah.
That's why I originally did it that way. I was asked to give more options to the commissioners this time, so that's what I'm.
Okay, you're saying it would cost us an additional 7,000? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Comes out.
7,000?
No, an additional 700.
Additional 700.
I think if you do 24,000 times 3, that comes out to 72,000, doesn't it?
72,000, right, I'm
And re-
sorry.
and
I
we're
have
originally-
7,200, that's
Oh.
why.
72,000, we're
Yes, so
originally
it's
asking for
7,000.
65, so that's $7,000
Yes.
Yeah.
over the 3 years.
Right.
A little over $2,000.
Just left off 1 0.
Yeah, right, okay. Okay. Is the 65,000 firm? I mean, that, you say that's the model you want. Are there other models that?
We could look at some other models, but
This is a commercial grade?
this is a commercial grade processor. It's the one that I've been looking at. Doesn't mean that we couldn't look at maybe the next step down. I don't know how much that's gonna save. You know, it's probably a difference of a few $1,000s difference. But, you know, if we're gonna have a processor for a while, I'm thinking this thing's gonna last a long time out here for the amount of wood that we do. And we take care of it, we put it in the barn, things of that nature. It's portable, it goes right behind the truck, so if we have a wood cut done up on the other side of 171, we can have the logger leave logs right up there, we can take it up with the pickup and process right up there.
This is a portable unit all by itself. It doesn't need a tractor or
Right.
anything else
Excuse
to
me.
run it.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Yes, it's independently ran, has its own engine, doesn't need a tractor at all.
And it's still chainsaw though.
Yes, it's still a chainsaw. If we step up to the circular saw, we're looking at probably twice this amount of money, which I don't think is justifiable for what we do.
How long do you think it would take to pay this back?
Well, this year we made, gross, we made $35,000 off of wood this year. So if you go off those figures, yes, you know, we could technically say, okay, we spent $15,000 on buying wood.
Yeah,
So that leaves us with a net of $20,000. At
Yeah.
$65,000, 3 years, a little over 3 years, we've got our payback on the machine. That I'm predicting, you know, I hate to put time limits on stuff, but the research of looking at these, there's commercial people running these things for 10, 15 years, and they're fine. You know, they're trading them in maybe for a newer model, but they're running them for that length without much of a problem. So after 3 years, you know, after that, it's paid for itself, and we're making money.
Oh, that's for each? Yes. Okay, thanks.
35,000, that's the total, both campfire wood and household wood.
Yes. Yep.
That's what you brought in this year?
Right. That's the last I looked at the numbers. We still have wood coming in and going out, you know, cap orders, and we've got 2 other deliveries that are going out today. So there's more money than that, but that's currently what I have put into my computer. I keep up to date on the slips.
Yeah.
When you look at these, you're gonna see probably the 3rd quarter numbers that the business office puts in the budget, but I keep up to date numbers on the computer, and that's where I'm at with, is around 35,000.
Okay. Have you looked at any other models other than Timberwolf? Any other wood processors?
I've looked at a few other ones. A lot of them are, you know, there's a lot of foreign brand ones out there that I've been trying to avoid, to be honest. I'd like to stay with someone that has a local dealer. I'd like to be able to go up with the parts book to the local dealer and say, this is the part number. Can you get me this part in here in the next 2 days? Not having to call someone halfway across the country to get things, because we're losing a lot of efficiency time. There's more that we could look into, definitely, but when you guys ask me in October to find something that's not gonna be approved till April, it's
Yeah.
hard to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to go, if we wanted to find a really good deal on a used tractor, if I don't tell you in October I see the tractor could be gone by April. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to, in this kind of business, to follow with your guys' rules, so I have to give you a number, we go by that.
Mhm.
If it gets approved and we wanna look around and not spend that much, then, you know, it's an option, but again, I wanna have a machine that's gonna fit our purposes and what we wanna do. Not saying there's not other machines out there that could do that, we could look around, but I gotta give you a starting point somewhere for your folks' budgets,
So what happens if the current machine breaks down
if the current machine breaks down
and can't be fixed?
and it can't be fixed,
Then what do? We don't have any income coming in.
we don't have any income coming in. I mean, I can't, the level that we are at, we cannot, and the amount of inmates we get, we cannot go out there and cut the stuff up 16 inches by hand and hand split it and keep up with the plowing and the other things that we do on this complex. We have a fine window nowadays that we do the wood. It's generally, as soon as second crop hay is done, up until the first snow is our window to get our wood done for the year. We might be able to spare up a week or two, maybe 3 sometimes in the spring, depending on if we got a really long, warm spring. But most of the time, springtime, we're doing springtime cleanup, fixing turf, sweeping sidewalks and driveways out here. So we're very busy, and then we start into the garden and into the hay and so on and so forth. So we have a small window, and to try to fit the amount of business that we do in that small window without this machine, it just wouldn't happen. I mean, I can't have guys out there cutting, we can't be out cutting by hand. There's only 2 people that can run the chainsaws. So we can't be out there running the chainsaws all day and have these guys splitting wood. Then we're not bagging wood, you know what I mean? There's too much that we do in that small time to accomplish it. Yeah, we could still accomplish some stuff, but it's not gonna be $35,000 worth of business. You know, it's gonna be much, much lower.
Do you foresee any increase over the 35,000?
I do. I hope to. I can put it that way. Once we get the pole barn done and we get this machine, so we have this process is efficient, I would like to see if we can increase. I mean, there's been talk about another state park that's going online up towards Berlin that might be taking more wood from us next year. So there's increase there. As far as cordwood increase, I don't think so. I think our piece of the pie is as big as it's going to get. There's enough people around here that do cordwood business. I don't think that we're going to be competing with them as it is. What we have is primarily our cap customers, because most business owners don't do the cap program because they got to wait so long to get a check. We have a lot of that business, and we have a few people that buy cordwood from us, but I don't think that piece of the pie is going to get very big because there's enough other people that do it.
Yeah.
I think where we're going to increase is possibly in the campfire wood business. And like I said, there's already one. He started buying a few 1 or 2 loads towards this new campground this last year, and they're hoping, getting through all the red tape to get their store up and going, they're hoping that they're going to be buying more from us next year. So I think that's where we would see an increase.
How available is this piece of equipment?
It is.
If you put an order in the 1st of April, you gotta wait 6 weeks for it, or?
I think it's going to be a little bit of wait. To be honest, he did say they're built to order. So when we order it, then they build them. He did tell me that. I didn't ask, to be honest. I didn't ask about the length. But generally, I figured if we order it in April, when we get it approved, by the time we start doing wood in September or whatever, it should, I would think, if they can't build a machine that fast, then they probably wouldn't be building very many. I think they would have it built for us. But that is definitely a question I could run by them when we get ready.
Anybody got any questions? This 65,000 would go into the capital investment section of the budget, and we already have 9,500 in there, so you're not looking for this. You got more paperwork?
Right. Just what you're explaining right now, I have it written out for you. It's the same piece of paper that I presented to you a couple weeks ago, but those changes that we made.
Thanks, Lou.
Thank you.
The black is what I gave to you a few weeks ago. The red is what we talked about changing. You wanted to take the $10,500 out of the farm new equipment budget and move that to the capital reserve. So that's why there's a 55.5 number up there. That's just showing the plan. The other thing, while we have this piece of paper out, that I wanted to say to the commissioners, I don't know, I know you guys are still deliberating on a lot of things, but according to Conway Sun yesterday, that the cows were in. But I would like, if there were commissioners, it sounded as though they were supportive of the idea, and I thank the commissioners very well, but I would like not to take that on next year with having this pole barn issue. We only have so much time that we can take on, and I'd really like to focus to do that properly. And then next fall, I would like to come back to the commissioners and probably present the same, same proposal, but I would like not to overextend our reach on what we can accomplish in a year, and I would really like to spend the time on that barn, which I think is much more important to us than the cows are at this point.
Okay.
If the commissioners, choose that they demand that I do the cows, then I'll do them, and I'm very happy and I'd like to do them. I'm very excited to do that and something new. As I've been here and the farm, as a team, we've worked really well, and the first year we had to move blueberries from over here for the new nursing home over there. The next year we bought 800 more blueberry bushes that we put in. The last 2 years we've been prepping and working on building on this pole barn. My next new project was going to be these cows. And so every year to 2 years, I like to present something new and try to move forward. Unfortunately, we're set back one more year on this pole barn, and I'd like not to take on that new challenge until we can finish this challenge.
Okay, so basically you're looking at putting $55,500 into the capital expenditure side.
Right.
You already have $9,500 in there.
54,000, not 55.
What?
You said 55,500, it's 54,500. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking over under the last year's numbers.
Don't confuse me.
I'm sorry.
The other question I would have, is how do we get, depending on what's going to happen with the insurance, and if I need a few $1,000s more to replace some of the broken things that we have out there to keep on forward with this. I don't know what the insurance is going to come out to, if they're going to give us that money, if they're not going to give us the money. But if we get into the case where they didn't give us the money, then what do we do going forward? I mean, I'm not going to know to tell you today how much I need. We're still going to be in the budget process with the delegation for a while.
Right.
Is that something that we would bring up then?
That could be done then.
And we try to add it in then, if convincing them. That's the only reason why I originally was going to take that whole $3,300 out on the livestock on that just piece of paper I just gave you. But then I was like, I wanted to ask you folks how we do that. Should we take that down to zero? Should we leave that $3,300 in case we need it for building stuff? And then take it out later if the insurance gives us money, tell the delegation, let's take that out, we don't need it. I don't know how we would work that, but that's just a concern I wanted to raise, is depending on what comes back with insurance.
I think we could always present the case when we find out what the insurance is going to pay, if they pay anything. We can make that case with the delegation
Okay.
before it's finalized. You had a question before, Mr.
Yes, I
Benson?
did. Will, have you contacted 2 or 3 or 4 of the owners of this piece of equipment to see what their opinions are?
I haven't.
Would you consider it? I mean, that's
I
always
would,
a good
yes.
way to go, to find out whether, the salesman can tell you it never breaks down, and now you call a customer and you say, yeah, it breaks down once a quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I would consider doing before we purchased it. I would also, there was somebody in the community, I think at one point, that had one, and I wanted to go out and take a look at it and get their opinions on it, the same thing. I don't know if they still have it anymore. This was a couple of years ago when I first presented this. But that would be something that we'd look at also, yes.
Okay, you don't have a copy, you have a copy of your budget right in front of you. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
One, on supplies and services, can we take $500 out of that?
We're on the farm budget?
On the farm budget, yeah.
Supplies and services.
Or, I guess, do you have something special that's going to be done under supplies and services?
Yes, that's the line item that I buy the campfire wood bags for the campfire wood business.
Okay.
And I also buy the sawdust for our blueberries, mulching in the spring.
Okay.
Comes under that line item, and that only leaves a little bit left for extra things such as sometimes we buy oils or different shop supplies that we need. Baling twine comes out of that line item generally. So I prefer not to. I think when you see the fourth quarter come in, that line item is going to be just about very, very close.
Okay. Next question I have is on gasoline expense. When we buy gasoline, is it my understanding that the jail uses some of that gas, and does the sheriff use some of that gas?
The jail and the nursing home
Nursing home?
do. The nursing home for their box truck that they have
Yep.
is the one, they don't use it for their van or their bus. I think they have something separate for that, but for their truck, they come down.
So where does that show up? Does that show up as an income to the farm?
Generally, we'd have to double check with Kathy Armstrong, but my belief of how it goes on is, for example, at the jail, generally Joe is the one that comes down and fills up the cruisers and the truck and such. He keeps a log, and when he gets his log filled, it could be a month, it could be 3-4 months, he'll give me his full log. I take that and I give it to Kathy. Kathy looks at the dates on that log and figures out what deliveries we got, so how much it costs per gallon, and he writes down how many gallons he used, and then they transfer the jail's amount of money of gas that they used back to credit that line item. So there's times when that line item could be used, because we're basically prepaying for the other departments until they give us money back.
Okay.
We still have to pay the gas guy.
Did, any idea how many gallons of gas we buy?
I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest. It is something that we could, as a total, probably easily get from Kathy Armstrong as far as the jail, the farm, and the maintenance people.
And it is something that we could put out for bid.
I don't know. I guess maybe. It's
Because we're spending over 10,000. Well, we're spending over 5,000 anyway.
I don't know how many people, how many companies actually deliver that. We have White Mountain Oil is who we buy the gasoline through, and they have, we could send it out to bid and find out. To be honest, I don't like to fix something that's not broken, because they come in regularly. I don't have to call them. They have it scheduled, and they come in and top our tank off, so we're never out of fuel in there. If for the jail or for anybody that would need a vehicle, need to gas up. If the sheriff's department, if all else failed and they couldn't get stuff, they could come and use our gas to get through the emergency.
Right.
And I like having that full. Doesn't mean we can't get that service from someone else, but they have been very good about it.
Fuller may do that as well.
What's it?
Fred Fuller,
Oh, they do gasoline too?
they may, since
Oh,
they have a
yeah.
they have a gas station there.
Right.
I think that's something we need to check on, to
Okay.
see about putting it out for bid. We find
Now,
out
is
how many
this-
gallons that we do buy a year.
Is it, if we go out to bid with this, is this something that we're gonna be doing every year, going out to bid on this to figure this out,
It
or?
depends on how we write up the specifications, as to whether it's a 3-year, like a union contract,
Okay.
or whatever. Wherever we could get the best deal. Under equipment repairs, we jumped it up $800.
Yes.
Do we need to?
In a couple of months, I'll be able to tell you yes or no. At this point, yes. The reason why I jumped that up is because we have the radiator that's going down on the little tractor. I explained that the first time.
Okay.
I may have, if we can get the radiator out and get it repaired at the end of this year, I may have enough in this year's budget to take care of it. I'm not
Okay.
sure. It's coming down to the wire.
Okay.
If we do, then I would definitely say, when we come back to this budget, let's go ahead and drop that 800. If we don't, then I didn't want to be shorted on it.
Okay. Do you have any changes to the sewer or the maintenance budgets? Sewer, water?
The maintenance one we talked about, I don't know what's on your guys' sheet, I didn't get an updated one, but taking the new equipment line from the 45 down to the 15, that was for the speed bumps, we talked about taking that 3,000 out. I don't know if she's made that. I know I told her.
On the maintenance?
Under maintenance, if you go down to 097, it's new equipment.
Yeah.
Originally submitted the 4,500 in reference to the 3,000
It's
being.
been dropped down to
Okay.
1,500.
Okay, yep, I didn't have it updated, so I just want to make sure that that was the case with that.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't think there was any other changes that I am aware of.
What about the sewer? Any changes in that one?
Not that I'm aware of unless something's changed without my knowledge, but
You got a compressor on the new equipment, right?
yes, yep, that's what the $1,500 is for.
And the water? Any changes there?
Unless something got changed without my knowledge, as far as I know, it's all the same. I left $1, I think, under new equipment. I couldn't think of anything that we were in desperate need of the pool or something that such that we needed to put anything in there, so I just left it as $1 in case something came up, but
Yeah,
nothing that I could foresee or plan for.
okay. Do you have any questions on any of those budgets?
No.
Commissioner Kenny, do you have any questions on farm budget or water, sewer? No? All right. Thank you, Will. Okay, Jason?
Sure.
Good morning.
Could be a problem.
Right.
Have you made any changes to your budget? I know I asked you to try to reduce it. Have you made any changes?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, could you
Yeah.
tell us what pages we're working on this?
On the jail budget?
Yeah, what page? Aren't you working on what page is it?
I think it's 22.
Somewhere
Well,
here.
I've got page 1 and I got page 16.
Top right corner, representative says page 22 and page 23
Okay.
in the little general ledger. I did not, Commissioner. I know in watching, I haven't watched it completely because, as you know, I wasn't here last week. But I also understand that you guys took out the RFP for the phones, reduced the capital expenditures by 10,000. You reduced the salaries for the non-union by the 50 cents, so the non-union are getting the 40-cent raise.
Right.
And what other changes did you make? Oh, and you reduced the new equipment budget down to 10,000. Outside of those changes, I had not reduced any other lines at this.
I would suggest, and I haven't talked to the other two commissioners, but I would suggest that we put up the perimeter fence for another year.
Okay. I'd like to reflect it in the minutes that I strongly discourage that, and I'd like to also reflect in the minutes that I'd like a letter in my personnel file indicating that I'd be released from any liability of anything that may happen in that facility.
As a result of that,
Decision, yes,
that
ma'am.
decision?
Yes,
So only pertaining to that decision.
correct, because we know that there's been issues. We know that there has been contraband introduced into that recreation yard. We've had an escape. And prior to taking occupancy into that facility, you know that a secure perimeter was recommended. That's some 9-10 years ago now. So the liability question is going to be, what did you know, when did you know it, and when did you do about it? You know that we've had problems. You don't want to take the action to correct it. I don't want to be held responsible for
Well,
that
you would,
decision.
the county would be held responsible for it.
Okay, but I just want it noted in the minutes that I discouraged that, and
I said will be noted.
Okay.
Okay. The cameras that were in the Capitol, are
Mhm.
they inside or outside?
Those are the inside ones.
Inside, and they're the ones that's movable,
Correct.
right? And they were, are they the ones at $300 a piece? Or were
No,
they the
they're,
outside?
The TPZs, I think they're around $3,000 per camera, somewhere around that area.
3,000.
You also dropped to 0.
Hmm?
You also dropped to 0.
I did, yeah. Okay. Education and conferences. That's a $1,600 It's a
Yep,
$6,000 increase, right?
Yes, sir. And that was to certify the corrections officers at the Corrections Academy. That was to attend the county conference. That was to go to the AJA conference, to allow the nurses to get their continuing education hours, and then 3 classes at SIG Sauer down in Exeter at the SIG Academy.
Okay. Uniform expenses, I know that's by contract, by
Correct.
union contract, but why did it jump up double? The only thing I can remember is the boots were changed.
You have those base layer shirts. That's a $2,800 increase. It's $30, that's $90 because it's 3 shirts per officer, $30 a shirt. So that's $2,800 increase.
Is that strictly union? Or does that cover non-union?
That
as
covers
well?
non-union as well. Again, it's always been the past practice to give the non-union personnel the
Yeah.
same.
All right, go down to vehicle expense. You got portable radios. You have 2 vehicles?
Currently, yes, sir.
And what other items are under vehicle expense? You had portable radio in there, right?
Yes. Yeah, I budgeted for 2 new radios, 2 mobile radios, with the anticipation I might get a hand-me-down car from the sheriff's office. And that was, mobile radio expense was $6,500, $6,510.
6,500 per radio
No, for both of them.
for both of them? Generator expense, I know you got it in there for load testing.
Yes, sir.
It was never done?
Has not
It
been
has
done.
not been done since the jail's been built.
Correct. That was a $2,100 expense to have them come in and do a load test on the generator.
All right, care of grounds. That is almost doubled.
It's because I put in for paving the aprons
All right.
going into the facility. I estimated $8,000 for that.
Are we going ahead with the paving?
What was that?
And where was the paving again? It was only in front, eh?
Yes, ma'am, the aprons as you approach the jail, come off of
Yeah.
County Farm Road into the 2 parking lots. The one that goes into the main parking lot facility, of the facility, typically will erode away, causing a significant hazard to people approaching the facility or leaving the facility.
All right, then the next item I have would be, under maintenance and building repair, you have a lift for outside. Is that a rental or is that a purchase?
That's just a rental, because the one that we presently have is for interior only.
Right. You have any idea what that cost? What figure did you use for the rental?
$500?
Okay, I guess I'm looking for the difference between a 22,000 and a 35,000. That's 500 of it.
We put in for,
An HVAC, supplies.
Right,
and,
HVAC parts, bearings, filters, that was 8,000. Electrical supplies was 4,000. Shop supplies was 2,000. Boiler room pumps, kits, and motors is 5,000. Let's see, parking lot lights, ballast bulbs is 3,000. Paint and supplies was 2,000. Interior bulbs, ballasts, and contacts was 6,000. Rug cleaning was $400. And then Joe has, he obtained a small air conditioner that he would like to put in for the lower hallway and his office. It would cool that section of the facility, as that's currently not cooled.
I thought the whole building was essentially.
No, there's certain rooms that aren't cooled. Some of the, I believe the air conditioners were removed during the value engineering.
All right, that's equipment repairs, replacement of cameras, that's worth the $300. Is that the glass or lenses for cameras?
That's the cost of the camera itself. Those are fixed cameras. TPZs are more expensive because there's more moving parts. A fixed camera is just a camera
So
itself.
how many do we have of those?
Well, right now, we only have, I think we have somewhere around 70, 72 cameras, and only 4 of them are TPZs.
72 cameras?
Somewhere in that area, sir.
Wow. This is in addition to the other cameras that are movable.
These are if any camera that we have now that fails,
Yeah,
that's what this would
that's what
be.
this is for.
Right,
And they're $300 each.
correct. And we may not have a camera that fails next year. I'd just like to be able to have the money that if I do have a camera that fails, be able to.
So how many,
Replace it.
how many are you looking at?
Well, I budgeted for 4 potential failures, so $1,200. I also budgeted for, to replace the cap over the firewall that goes, protrudes through the roof. The wood up there has rotted, and the metal cap has fallen off or has been displaced.
And replace of door indicators?
The door locks, yes, sir. Their cost of a lock is $900. I'm sorry, you're talking about the closers, because those have the DPSs in them, and then that's $500 each closer, and we budgeted for 3.
And you got $2,200 in there for miscellaneous?
Yeah, just anything that would unforeseen.
All right, drop down to information technology. You're replacing 3 computers?
That's what John had suggested.
Can we,
Because-
can we replace 1 rather than all 3?
I can ask him. Those are the computers that have been in the facility since we opened.
Are they in the control room, or are they?
They're just scattered
individual
around.
offices?
Yeah, individual offices.
How many computers do we have total?
Off the top of my head, I can't answer that.
Okay. I was thinking that it would be put on an annual budget type thing rather than replacing all of them all at once. I know
And that's
you
what-
have more than 3.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to age out the equipment. Because we purchased a number of them, 2009, I think, is when we upgraded our server and a majority of the computers in the facility. And then these 3 are just some of the ones that were left over from the originals.
Other supplies, you increased that by about $8,000. Can that be reduced $3,000?
Let's see.
Or do you have something special that you're gonna buy?
But I put in for $2,100 worth of drug testing equipment. That's all your drug testing cups.
But that goes under equipment, right? Or,
No, it goes under the other supplies, because that's kind of like a catch-all. There's a lot of things that come out of other supplies. It's all of our cleaning.
okay, I get you, yeah. I see it now. They do that down in Stratford County. Okay. So you don't think that can be reduced any?
Well, that's where we get all, like I said, it's where we get all of our cleaning supplies from. It's where all of our non-food items hit the budget. All of our, like, disinfectants, I think our drink mixes hit there. So that's kind of like a catch-all.
Do you order this strictly from your office or from the jail, or is it ordered in combination perhaps, let's say, with the nursing home?
The nursing home does all the ordering now. All the stuff comes through Cisco.
I'd like to drop down the heating expense.
Okay.
Are you sure of that figure?
Based on what we've burned and what the cost that we've been paying over the last year, pretty
I
confident
mean, I
that-
got 71,000, but that's only up until the end of September. You have other figures, more recent figures?
Well, when I did,
It just seems to be too low.
as of the 18th of October, when we were looking at the budget, our meter reflected that we only burned 45,832 gallons of propane.
Which means what? Which means what? You're way down, or way up, or about the same?
Well,
It'd be way down.
yeah, way down. In 2011, we were burning, according to this, we were burning about 7,300 gallons a month.
Okay.
And then we did some upgrades to the computer for the boilers, and then we did that HVAC cleaning last year. So I'm not sure if that increased the efficiency of it. And then the cost that we thought we were gonna pay in 2011 was $2.10, and we've been averaging about $1.68 this year.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Badger.
When a subcommittee met, Jay, didn't we increase your heat expense last year too?
By 30,000 or 50,000?
We went from 150 to 180 or something.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah. So I really think that this is a reasonable, and I could.
Who knows what the winter will bring?
Right. Yeah, and I don't know what the cost of propane, I'm only going off of what we've been paying over this past year. And I increased it a little bit. We've been, like I said, we've averaged about $1.68 this year, and I projected up $1.80 for next year.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah?
You were going to research and see if in fact the figure we heard was correct, of like $1.19 a gallon. Is
Yeah,
that
I
correct?
didn't. He
That
said
not before-
$1.68.
Huh?
He was saying $1.68, what you've been paying
Someone
on
was
the
here.
average.
On the average, yes, sir.
Someone here said
Someone
$1.19,
said
I think
$1.19,
it was.
yeah.
What did
Yeah.
you bring up, Steve, when you talked about this a couple weeks ago? I know you said that it was.
So the last, I think what it was the last fill that they received, whatever, 2-3 weeks ago or something, they paid $1.19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
We
that,
locked in Wakefield for $1.60.
$1.60?
$1.60 for the winter. But you have a much bigger tank than we do, so.
Yeah.
And you probably use a lot more propane than we do, so you would think you'd probably be able to get a better price, but.
but wasn't that, what is his name? Jerry? No, isn't it Jerry from
Is it
the
Jerry?
maintenance?
Yeah.
And he said
For
it
this
was
building.
119? So where did he get a price from?
Well, it hasn't been corrected. Let's put it that way. Easton hasn't called us to change it. If you look at previous years, though, look at 2010, 2011. It's over 130,000, 190,000 one year. And we're only
Yeah.
budgeting for 97,000? I don't know.
Hadn't somebody better check that out, Mr. Chairman, before
Yeah.
you put in a budget on it?
Yeah.
And there's just too wide a discrepancy here.
The price of propane has dropped quite a bit.
Well, that's the price.
I think maybe what is the company name?
Easton.
Where you
Propane.
get-
Easton.
And what was the company name, what Jerry was talking
Eastern
about
Propane.
also?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should call
Yeah.
him again, what a rate.
If I'm correct in my thoughts, this tank here, ma'am, is the tank that provides all 4 buildings on the complex, the propane.
Okay, move down to travel. Can that be reduced $700?
That was the,
Travel expense?
correct, we removed the hotel, we moved that back to education and conferences, so we reduced that to 2,500. So then the travel expense covers for the flight out to Michigan for the conference, the hotel fees for the NHAC conference, and then mileage reimbursement.
I have for the education and conference was $14,665, is that right?
That's what I put in, but when we were discussing the budget, you said to move the hotel for the AJA conference up to education and conferences, and then reduce this line. That's what I have in my notes.
Okay, so the increase was, that's $1,600.50?
Yes, sir.
And that's just for hotels?
Correct.
How many,
That was for two employees to go out to the AJA conference.
vehicle expense?
Go. Okay.
You two jump in anytime you want to. Go ahead.
We already have a vehicle expense. What did you want to?
Yeah, you had the two radios in there.
No, we have radios somewhere else.
Under vehicle, have it under vehicles.
Okay, under vehicle, sir.
Okay. And the generator expense is up. That's again, that's a load testing.
That's the load testing, yes, sir.
Um,
By the generate, by the, oh no, I'm by the care of grounds. That's 16,896. You're getting a new snow blower?
I put in for it, and the other thing again was the major increase was the,
Paving.
the aprons for the,
Okay, pave and aprons.
right? And that's just an estimate, so I'd have to contact a company to come in and provide a true estimate on how much it would cost to pave that.
Let's look at new equipment. I think, well, speaking for myself, I think we need a decent storage cabinet for your weapons and your ammunition in the jail. I don't have the figures right in front of me, but I was thinking that at one time it was 5,000 and it was reduced to 2,000.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was,
How, what would be the difference between that storage unit and one that a homeowner would buy? Quite a bit larger?
I'd have to see what Specialist Baker had researched and found online for the sum that he gave you.
I mean, I think we need to have a decent one that's lockable so that, for safety reasons.
I think it's larger, and if I remember correctly, the ones that he's looking at, it has a caged front, and it, in the size of it, if I remember correctly. But again, I'd have to go back and follow up with him on the exact one that he's looking at.
So we reduced that figure from 27,500 down to 10,000.
Correct.
Out of that, 10,000 is a safe. And the suggestion was that you decide where that remaining goes.
Yep.
Am I correct, commissioners?
Yeah, but to go back at the lockers, there are two here. I see weapons and ammo storage locker. One is for 2,000, and the other is the personal storage lockers for 5,000.
I think the ammo and storage locker is the one that we talked about at the meeting that he did the presentation for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you, the two correctional officers that came in and gave the presentation, they did a really good job.
Yes.
They really did a good job.
And we're going with the one of $2,000, yeah? The weapons and ammo storage locker.
The weapon
Yes.
one, yeah. Okay, the information technology, is that based on a contract?
Yes, there wasn't any increase to the service contract because that's a 3-year contract, and that's $17,000 was our portion. The new computers, we budgeted for $1,000 for the 3, and then a software upgrade because we're presently running, I want to say 2003 Windows, and we need to come up because I believe it's our new OMS is not able to be run on the 2003. It needs either 2007 or 2010, whatever the latest version is. Windows.
Okay, anybody got any questions? Those are the ones that I had. You don't have any? Ashley, do you have any questions on the jail budget?
No.
Now is the time to speak up if you have. Okay.
Just for clarification, Commissioner, so both the telephone system and the perimeter fence have been removed from the budget?
Right now it has. We may change our mind, but I think that's where we stand on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Not to say that it's not needed. But, we are supporting 2 additional correctional officers. We're supporting quite a raise for the union people. And just how far can we go?
It doesn't mean you're not getting it in the future, probably. We'll put in the.
I just don't, I mean, that, I have a guarantee from the proposed company for that price.
Yeah.
I don't know what, if you don't do it for next year, because he said he'd hold that price for next year.
Yeah.
If you put it off until future years,
Yeah.
I just don't know what the.
What was that, it was 30,000, 37,000 or something? What was that figure?
You
I don't have it
talking,
right in front of me.
you talking
You
about
got
the
it?
telephone?
No, the
No, the
fence.
fence.
Or the phones?
35,500.
Okay. Would you stop down in the office and get those bids that came in on the telephone?
Mm-hmm.
I gave it to. I
Did you
gave
give it to him?
No, to the office, they were gonna give it to.
They're
me.
on the
Did
chair
they call you?
downstairs.
Oh, okay.
I notified all the companies that, I notified Black Box, because I had a call from them, and I also had a call from, I think the news, the place that published the RFP, one of the publishing places, they called, and I had informed them that the bid had not been
Okay.
awarded and won't be awarded.
You ought to take those copies. I think we each got a
So you have my
copy
copy.
of them. And you ought to get them
Okay.
so that you have them
What do you
as a
want me to do?
reference later on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Jason. Okay, Mike? Did you change any of your figures?
Yes.
You did. How many?
First, yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been working with Sheriff-elect Ricciardi as well, and
Yep.
Sheriff
You can sit up on the
Conley,
table.
requested he come up and actually be a part of the conversation here, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So where are your changes then?
The bailiff line item
Yeah,
was the first one. That was a error on my part on addition type thing, so we're down to $123,292 for the budget, and the revenue side changes to $116,040. A couple changes in that. One where there was a slight addition error, but there was also, instead of the $10 stipend, we kept it at the $5 stipend that's presently there. I believe we might be asking a delegation to go to the $10 stipend,
Yeah.
but for now, it was pretty clear that the commissioner's wishes were to keep it at $5.
right, okay.
So
Yeah.
we brought it down.
So what does that figure reduce to?
123,292.50 for the budget, and the revenue side is 116,040.
123 what, Mike?
123,292.
Thank you.
That's a slight increase over last year of 4,000, and that's based on the bailiff days and that we're given from the courts and stuff, so that could go up or down. but,
Okay,
think the other any other changes were the you had asked to put the education conferences down to 3,000 on the dispatch side. We'd like to keep it at the 4,000. Last year, we had we couldn't get to as many as we needed to. We had a lot, some turnover in the employees. We've also had focus on getting the new dispatch center up and running. NEDA, New Hampshire Dispatch, they're trying to get a certification process. They have a dispatchers academy that we send all our people to. What our goal is, I'm talking to Keith and Sheriff-elect Ricciardi and Sheriff Conley had a vision of it as well, is there's not a lot of training for dispatchers offered in the northern part of the state. Everything, as with everything else, south, if you're north of Concord, no one cares. So what our goal was to get some training up here, to host it up in this building, and to invite regional, and I've spoken with Conway, I've spoken with Wolfboro, dispatchers as far north as Grafton County, they'll come down for it. And they very much would want it. So we're looking at, that type of professional training for our own dispatchers. There really hasn't been much for dispatchers up till just this last year or two, when NEDA's come online, and they're actually going in front of a board to try and get what's equal to like a police academy for the dispatchers, because they are an important part of, the police segment, and they're an important part of the liability when it comes to, getting the officers out to the calls, getting the right information and so forth. So we'd like to keep that at $4,000. It's not inconsistent with what's been there over the previous years, and so.
Okay. Overtime. You haven't been using 18,000. One was 17, one was 13,000, and 211.
Yeah, I don't. Where are we at this year?
It's just the second item down from.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's in dispatch.
Yeah.
Are you in the sheriff's budget or?
No, it's jumping back and forth here.
Well, you had asked me about changes. If you want, we can just go right down.
Yeah. Let's go back to the sheriff's budget.
Okay.
Let's go with the sheriff's budget and get down to that. Court bailiffs you changed. Anything else below that?
The dues, licenses, and subscriptions, you asked to change to the amount that we had paid, and we kept that consistent. But I don't see any other changes that we incorporated on the sheriff's side. Do you remember any?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Could people speak up?
That being me.
That being you, being Commissioner Kenny. You said, what did you do to the licenses and,
It's 17,500 now.
okay.
It was 19,583.
One of the things that we did take out is, if you look up, I think it's special details. Grant salaries. That, I believe, has gone down to just $10,000. There was a $40,000, there's a $30,000 grant that's not available to us anymore. So that went down from $40,000 to $10,000.
Where's the grant salary?
The
Line item
second one
2.
on- Second item at the top. Yeah, at the top. I don't know what you're looking at.
No, I got different ones here. Grant salary, okay, I got it. Down to 10,000?
Mhm.
Okay.
And the special details Albany grant, that should be at $23,550.
That's how much we're paying?
20,000. What it is the Albany is $20,000, and then we factor in $3,550 for the details that might come in, whether it be road details, escort details, and that type, and that should all, yeah, and that should all come back in on the revenue side.
Okay.
I'm anticipating that
You
Albany.
getting your money's worth?
I don't know.
I think you are.
Okay. How quick can you get to my house?
Okay, moving down.
I don't see any other changes that we did.
Under deputy expenses.
What line is that, sir?
045? No.
No, 4140 was
46.
8.
046?
You said salary,
46.
special duty, salary,
Deputy,
No,
that's-
deputy expenses,
No, that would be 45.
45, that's $5,000.
45. And they've never spent 5,000. You plan on spending that this year, next year?
Don't know.
So what are the deputy expenses, for example?
For example, uniform expenses come in with per contract, and that's based on what the contract says they get for care and equipment. Sometimes what we have, when we have new hires and stuff, we have the uniform expenses is considerably more, and we also have bulletproof vests we have to buy for the individual. Sometimes we don't have a hat that fits them, and we try to reuse as many uniforms as we can. So a lot of times that comes out of that. We haven't had any new hires this year, so that's why it didn't go down, that deputy expense. The other part thing that works in the deputy expense is meals on transports, some things that sometimes we need to get some extra items when we're on crime scenes.
Okay. But you mentioned uniform, but there's also not a line for uniform expenses.
That's correct.
Is it not going there up if you have new deputies? It's not coming out of that line?
There is a certain amount that's allowed per deputy in that line item, and that's per contract, and we have that set up for each deputy as per contract, and we take as much of that as we can, but
But that's at the discretion of the sheriff.
that is at the discretion of the sheriff, per the contract.
Right.
So the meals are in the deputy expenses there, in that line?
Mhm. Yes. We would like to keep that at $5,000, and because we don't know, you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if traditionally we haven't spent $5,000, but
All right, now let's look at meals.
meals are for prisoners when we're on transports.
Those are for prisoners.
That's $300. That's,
Yeah.
I think that's a fair amount.
You used nothing in 2011 and 12?
For prisoner transport meals? No, that's correct.
Under advertising, are these for positions?
Yes.
I thought that was going through HR.
We go through HR, right?
I think in previous years, that's come out of our budget.
But if we didn't tell them, if you don't tell them it's coming to HR, they will put it down, they don't know it.
In previous years, I mean, again, we didn't have any new hires this year that we did any advertising.
You don't have any vacancies?
We have a vacancy that's being filled.
Okay, but you didn't have to advertise.
No.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
How can you have a vacancy that's open and you don't advertise for it?
He filled it without
You
advertising.
just said they had one, but they're filling it. They didn't advertise for it.
Filling it with we have a part-time employee that wanted to go full-time, so we didn't advertise, that's the sheriff's
Oh,
policy.
okay.
That if you're part-time and you get the first
There's no
notice.
requirement in this county to advertise for an opening?
Not that I'm aware of.
I thought there was. Okay, thank you.
If it's union, yeah.
So we have
You went
now-
under the union contract.
I don't know of any requirement to advertise.
We have now recently So a part-time employee is now recently full-time.
Not, it's going, it's in the process. In the
Okay.
testing procedures process.
Okay.
It's advertising, right?
Vehicle expense? That is a fixed figure based on purchasing?
Based on, based on purchasing for what we have for payments that for our cars that we have now, and the purchasing of 3 new ones, the first year payment on those as well. And that might go up or down a little bit. We just made an estimate on what we thought the 3 new cruisers' first payment would amount to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might go down a little.
Okay.
And the vehicle expenses is, the vehicle purchasing, that's also to equip the new vehicles as well.
You can't transfer the equipment that's in a vehicle, the old vehicle, into the new vehicle?
We do.
You do?
We do, but they did away with the Crown Vics and the new cars. We had this discussion last year, and I don't know if you remember, the new cars, the Tauruses that we have, you can't use the partition. You have to buy a whole new one, and those are like $1,500 alone. But once we have them, hopefully that Taurus model will be consistent for quite a number of years to come, so we're actually.
Unless they change it.
Yeah, well. Vehicle expenses, a lot of that is for repairs, but gas and stuff, but one of the things, for gas, I put in at $4 a gallon. Last year, we got a notice around this time of year from the state that they locked in till November 30th at $3.71, I think, or what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get that notice again, I'll adjust that figure.
Okay.
They locked in at 371.
I believe that's what it was.
Well, let's just say that was so. And the gas has gone down?
Well,
Are
it
they
locked,
still
well,
Are they still locking you in
That's the
371?
state.
I'm talking about the state, yes.
it may have been 271. I don't know, but
I think it was-
either way,
yeah.
I don't think we're paying, if it's 254, that's what we end up paying for. We pay less than what everyone else
Oh,
does,
that's
because
what
we
I
don't have
thought.
to do the tax.
Precisely that
It's
was
just
my point.
What they won't go above it is,
Okay.
I have it in here somewhere, that
Yeah, I don't think it's 3, I think it's 2.
it's probably 2.
Firearm training and equipment. In 2010, you spent 13,000. 2011, 7,000. I don't have the exact figure for this year.
We're currently right now, we're going through our certification process with our guys with the 4-hour mandatory training, the use of force training, and the firearms on the qualifications. We have guys doing night shooting and all that, so that, you're right, that money has not been spent yet, but you'll see it spent.
Okay. You got any questions on the sheriff's
The
department?
new equipment, you asked for a list on the new
Yep.
equipment.
Yep.
We started last year, on my new equipment list was the Motorola radios are going out of service. They're not serviceable anymore, so we decided on a plan of replacing 3 a year. I just put in the order for the 3 for this year. This is going to be, we have this factored in for 3 cruiser radios for next year and 4 workstations for computers. John Rich had said that we could use 6. We put in for 4. The cruiser radios are roughly $3,500 a piece right now, and that's right now. I don't know what next year's price is going to be. I was able to get them for a little less this year because I was ordering them before November 30th. We got a discount.
Tell me again, that 15,000? What was the stations? What are you talking about?
Workstation.
Workstations?
Computers.
For deputies?
Deputies.
And you got 4 of them? How many you got?
Well, it's the workstations. He said we could use 6 for the entire complex. I just put 4 under this one. I don't have new computers so much in the dispatch center. I think this is where we take it out of this one. I can move it over. But we have our list for new equipment that we want at dispatch center that we could use goes up to over $20,000. So we're keeping it at 6, and we haven't quite yet decided what pieces and parts we're going to do on that.
But these computers are in the sheriff's office, not in dispatch.
These 4 are, he said we needed 6 for the entire complex. I put 4 in here, so they're gonna be hopefully in the sheriff's office, but there very well might be one going into dispatch. And I put them at $1,000 a piece, and they might be, I think they're probably gonna be a little more than that.
So you got a desktop computer? It's not a laptop. Huh?
Desktop.
What is it? Desktop.
Okay. Let's look at dispatch.
Server pieces.
Are we short on help in dispatch?
Over a period of time, we were short on help, and then we were training part-timers as well. And when the help left, the part-timer took the position, so then we bring in another part-timer, we train them up. So we are currently fully staffed when we do have 4 part-timers that we use on occasion. We have 2 of them that we are having normal schedule of 2 or 3 days a week. And we have one that's 1 day a week, and we have 2 that come in when needed, if they can.
And overtime? If we got a full complement, we still need overtime?
Yes, because people have vacation time, sick time, and, if it's busy, sometimes people will hold someone over and put them on the call station instead of the regular radio, and that accounts for overtime as well.
Okay. Education and conference?
That's what I started out with at the beginning of the,
Yeah. Okay.
the office supplies, we put at 3,000. I think that's the same. Yeah. I have it at 3,500 in my budget. You guys asked for 3,000.
Yeah.
I think 3,000 is okay. I will change it to 3,000. I just didn't do it.
Reduced it to 3,000?
Yes, sorry. And there's no other changes from the last time that we sat that I.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Mike, if Conway or Moultonborough or Wolfboro decided that they wanted to use your facilities tomorrow, full-time, would you be able to do it?
On a short-term.
Wolfboro alone has 50,000 had 50,000 calls last year. Would you be able to accept 50,000 with what you have and the equipment you have?
As long as we could use their frequency, we could do it on a short-term basis, but I think we would need to look at, if they have 50,000 calls, then we would have to look at adding probably another dispatcher and moving the call station up, moving the 4th console, which is just a call station, up to a regular.
Thank you.
Moultonborough, we have the ability to take them all on right now. Obviously, that would be a lot more personnel, and we would need more radios, and we would have to dedicate one dispatcher for Wolfboro and one dispatcher for
Well,
Comeau.
that's my point. You'd be unable to take them on without additional cost to the county,
Yeah, I mean, if you're
for which
talking
they're already paying.
over a long period of time, if Conway went down for a week or 2 weeks, or, we could handle it. But, if you're talking long term.
Long-term, all three, you'd have increased expenses that would have to be covered.
Yes.
Thank you.
I hope you're working on that. I don't know whether it's gonna happen or not, but you ought to give some idea what it would cost if we took on all three towns.
I mean, do we have, I haven't heard that Conway or Wolfboro or Moultonboro ever wants to come over here. I just heard that they want to cut their part, so.
That's true.
Is that an exercise in futility, or we'll do it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll plan on researching that information.
It certainly is something that's going to be a focus after January.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the other things I think we need to talk about is, we need to revisit, is the impound yard.
We put 30,000 into the capital expense side of the budget
For the impound yard?
for the impound yard.
Okay.
And if that goes, it'll be up to the delegation to decide that.
It's in your budget with them? It's in the commissioner's budget, or not in mine?
Not in your budget, no. It's either under the administration building or in capital improvement.
Okay. 'Cause I assume we'll be managing it,
Yeah.
which is, that's not a big deal.
Right. How we have a lot of vehicles now that we need to get rid of?
If there's something there that needs to get rid of, then it's probably in the works, but we've really taken care of a lot of the issues that were there.
Okay. Okay, any questions on dispatch or sheriffs? We're not doing too well in reducing the budget, I can see that.
Well, we had a lot of added expenses with the retirement expenses.
Yeah.
That was big on the group.
We will figure out what it costs for all the uncontrollable amounts, like workman's comp and health insurance and.
You keep on saying workers' comp is up. Why is workers' comp up?
I don't know, that's what they charge.
Well, it depends what you pay out or not. It's not what you charge. Workers' comp is what you pay out. Sometimes you get settlements through workers' comp. I think we need to look at that, what it is, why it is up.
I think we have a set rate that
Is
we
there
have to
rate?
pay, and it's based on the previous year's payouts, but we still assign a set rate.
It's assigned by the state.
Yeah.
It's not something that we do.
Right.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Want me to tell Tom to come in?
Yeah. We're just waiting for Tom Dewars.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to note that there's no sign-up sheet this week for people that are here.
For attendance? Are you leaving?
Yes, I gotta be in contact.
We'll put your name in. I was gonna say, yeah, we have sheets down.
So do you want non-public or?
Can you put the-
Oh, I didn't ask.
who was it?
I don't know what he
formal
wants.
one?
We have just
I
a
think
form
not,
one.
but I didn't
Next
ask.
time I will bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I give it to you? Should I
Yeah,
give
you
it to you?
leave it there. Yeah, just put it on. And
Commissioner Kenny,
Oh,
is that new complaint against the other two commissioners?
It's against the Board of Commissioners.
And it named two commissioners. It's against the Board of Commissioners and it named two commissioners.
Can you say which two?
It's you and me and
Well, if we progress, I
Yeah.
think we'll hear some more.
Okay.
Thank you.
I gather with all those papers, this is open.
Yeah, this is, I wasn't really sure, but you are reviewing the budget, is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I left my pen. Okay. You asked for that background information on the salaries and stuff. That was the package that we gave you last year.
And that's a Thomas.
I asked for an updated one, but I don't think HR was able to pull it up from last year.
Okay.
It's a compilation from the Association of Counties. I think they report all the different updated salaries and, for normal positions in the counties,
Oh, and the advertiser, that
and
was in
elected
the paper.
officials.
Okay, I think what we did is we reduced things back, and you're gonna have to make your case at the delegation meeting to increase any of the wages other than what you got last year. Anything in addition to, other than the 40 cents an hour?
40 cents an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have something for me?
17,000.
On what you put it back, or?
17,750 for part-time.
Do we have a copy of that, Commissioner?
I don't know if you do or not.
No, so, I mean,
Okay.
we're at a little disadvantage, because I don't know
Okay,
what you're gonna
yeah.
be, I mean,
No, that's what we're gonna be doing, is we're gonna be putting them back to 40 cents an hour. And those are the figures.
in the basis of that?
Because everybody else is getting that.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'm not saying you can fight for it if you want to with the
Okay,
delegation.
So what are you
What's that?
talking about? What is going on?
Any of their wages,
From who?
clerical in the county attorney's office
Mm-hmm.
is 40 cents, just like everybody
Oh,
else is
okay.
getting.
So you're not talking about assistant attorneys?
No,
You talk
not
only
yet.
about,
So the wages is, okay, because
You
they
including-
set the rate, huh? They put more than 40 cents in.
Right,
And you took it out
right,
and you put in a 40 cents.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it. And that is for how many people? Is that for 3 people?
You got paralegal,
Uh-huh.
um,
And there is an office assistant there? For 2
Yeah.
people?
yeah, that part-time person. Well, it's
Well,
shared.
she actually
It's shared
worked
between-
for the victim witness and she worked
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
office. So for 2 people you're talking then?
Yeah,
So, Commissioner, when you say that you're holding the line or on other, are you including the paralegal in? Is this-
everybody but your assistant county attorneys.
Okay. And then in other departments in the county, are you, is this, like, say for the paralegal, is that consistent with management,
Everybody is getting 40 cents.
even managers?
Yeah,
But what about Jason Johnson? He got more than that. Didn't you put more in?
Jason Johnson got 40 cents.
No, he got more than that.
You check it out. If he did, let me know, but I don't think he did. I think everybody got 40 cents.
No, he got a salary increase. More than.
Well, you come up with a figure.
What is that percentage, Commissioner?
I don't know. When we didn't go by percentages, because those people that are making more would get more. It widens the gap, so everybody's getting 40 cents. All union contracts, with the exception of the jail, the exception of the sheriff's department, which was negotiated 2 years ago.
Okay. And, do you have the information on how that breaks down as we go down the budget?
Sure.
Okay,
Salary part-time was 17,750.
yeah,
Paralegal, 41,100.
okay. Was
The salaries for the assistant attorneys
was the county
remained the
attorney,
same.
was the county attorney correct?
Was the county attorneys correct?
Yeah,
72,100?
yeah. I don't know whether it was or not.
Oh.
Like I told you, I said, this was
Oh,
only...
because there are changes?
Well, we had so many changes during that meeting, which was so fast back in either April or May, that I was wondering whether or not that was correct or not.
All right. Would you go back and look at the delegation minutes on the salary of
Of the
the county attorney? To see if it's 72,100?
I think that is what yeah, that is what they put in.
That's what we put in, but what he's asking is the delegation changed stuff all around.
This changes again?
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
thought it was 72 when they put it on.
Okay.
And I think.
Well, like I'm saying, like when I ask percentages and you say you're not sure, and I guess it's 40 cents, I don't know whether I was included as
No,
40 cents.
you're
No.
not. Yours is set. Yours
I-
is set.
They
So I,
just-
Yours is
Your-
set.
your
ours
yeah,
is
but they
set.
talked about percentages, see, and I thought last year that 3% equated to so many cents.
Oh,
And see, that's why I'm asking, because I don't know whether because nobody really says, oh, here, Tom, this is what we finally decided. Because I think I left. And
They
then
came up with a number.
And then you
it's
just,
got to be
We
in the
just have to
minutes.
see what the
At the
number
side.
is.
okay, thank you,
But none of the elected
Do
officials
not know what you said.
are included in that 40 cents.
right.
They just set the rate for the elected official.
All I know is it wasn't what I asked for,
Yeah, right.
or anything close.
Yeah.
But the assistant attorneys, they are approved, they get that increase.
Assistant attorney, 190.25? Is that what you have there?
Yes.
Okay.
19825?
1925.
Oh, yeah, 192.5.
1925.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at that, yes.
The paralegal and the assistant in the attorney office, they consider management, and I support the increase recommended by the county attorney for these 2 people.
So you want to go
What the
to
county attorney
18,005 for the part-time
what he
person in
recommends.
each one?
Yes, what he recommend for these two people.
Okay, and you want to do the same thing with the paralegal?
Yes.
Okay.
The paralegal is that the one who does?
That's
two-
Betsy, right?
Oh, that's you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
She's the office manager.
It's sort of morphed from paralegal into office management, but I still do paralegal.
Okay.
I mean, as I said last time, Commissioner, all this was backed up by all the statistics and all the other
Yes.
counties, and it's all laid out. I
Yep.
submitted this all last year twice to the commission as well as, I believe, to the subcommittee.
Yep.
And, you know, we're still trying to play catch-up.
And so are a
Reasonable.
number of other departments.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
an issue that goes beyond your office.
Yep.
Take the pledge.
I got education and conferences and travel, telephone and photocopy expense. I have just questioned those figures.
Okay, so we're past all the Social Security retirement.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Okay.
nothing we can do with
So
those.
now, all right, so now we're on education conferences?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
I know you never spent over $2,000. And do you have a current figure on what you spent this year? I don't have that. All I got is $490.
Right, but like I said,
You had some coming up this last quarter.
In December?
yeah, I wanted, there was a couple that we might be able to send people, it's dependent on the trial schedule.
Yeah.
Right now, it's still in flux. If I go, I would be one of those people. I'm
Mhm.
trying to evaluate that.
Okay.
So, but that expense, we need to send the people to training. And just because of the workload and the trial schedule, we haven't been able to go.
Yeah.
And then we got defunded from the National District Attorney Association, so things were canceled. So that was last year's problem, why it's only at $490.
Okay.
And then we ended up not going, a lot of us ended up not going, I think was it September? To a conference that we all usually go to. So, I mean, you can take it away if you want, but we only didn't go and use it because we were busy working.
And that is important for the attorney office, the education and conferences.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And just to add, because our attorneys missed the last conference, a lot of them will probably be doing online conferences, which is going to cost money. They need their continuing legal education credits.
Okay.
So that is an option too. So if you don't attend, you can do it online?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not, I think probably as fulfilling as actually going to a conference and meeting with your peers and discussing things live.
Okay.
And your photocopy expense is going up? You got a current figure on that one? I have $380.
Yep, I think we're going to be a little bit over on our photocopy expense for this
Okay.
year. We're going to go over our budget, I anticipate, just because of the number of copies we've been making. So I increased it, hoping that next year we wouldn't go over.
Okay.
I don't think it was much of an increase. Aren't we at $660 for?
No? Oh, I don't know.
I think our last budget was $660.
And new equipment, did you give us a sheet on what the new equipment is?
I haven't turned it in yet, which is a good thing because we just learned from IT that we need to budget for a $300 switch. I'm trying to get more information on what the switch is.
Okay.
But the $1,200 would be $700 for our laser printer, $300 for the switch, $200 left over for either bookcases, small tables that are needed in the cubicle, maybe a replacement chair. whichever's more urgent.
What about the change in the cubicles? Is that in
Change
there?
in what?
Didn't they want to put up some more
Oh,
wall
petitions?
petitions?
Yeah, where do we stand on that?
Jerry's budget.
Nothing?
I'm sorry. Jerry's budget.
Jerry's budget for it,
He's
okay.
had someone actually come in and do some measurements and take a contractor to take a look
Okay.
and give an estimate.
Okay. Victim witness is the same, 40 cents?
What's that figure come down to?
17,750.
May I say something, Tom? May I say something? I know that you've been very kind in considering the salary adjustments for our assistant county attorney's positions, and we support that. But this is the second year in a row that the support staff is getting a fairly minimal raise, and especially for Melissa, her position really demands, I think, a salary adjustment. She is so far underpaid when you look at statewide figures for what she does. And, we appreciate you've been able to adjust the assistant county attorney salaries. If you could consider her job as important, and I think at this point, more in need of a salary adjustment.
I know I know one case recently where she's helped out tremendously, and that person or the family is very thankful for her.
Well, the thing is also, Commissioner, is that she's supposed to be on salary, and she's not supposed to be on hourly, and she's still treated hourly. And we talked about
Yep.
that for year after year. She can't be lumped in here under the general 40 cents an hour. I
Mhm.
mean, she works different hours, she puts in time,
All right, we get that straightened out, hopefully today.
yeah.
And
But,
put her
I
on-
mean, if anything,
We'll find out whether
you know,
she can go on salary.
if anything, recommend based upon that, and I think that was brought up at the last meeting we
Mhm.
had, put her down as a reasonable salary. She's expected to work for
Yeah.
salary. That way you don't have to worry about hours and 40 cents an hour, because it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
She's not being paid that way.
Right.
She's working night, she gets phone calls, she's on, she doesn't charge when she's at home or, outside the office or.
Mhm.
I mean, you did give her, extra in her, I don't know whether that's still gonna be in here for her phone and everything, because
Yeah.
we did have to get her, a phone stipend.
Yeah, that's up 300.
Yeah, because that really needs to be there. I mean, because we communicate with her several times a day, and when we're in court, she's our only lifeline back here, what they may need in the court, so it's a necessity that we have to have her internet compliant.
Okay, anybody got any questions of the dispatch, of the victim witness? Budget? You think she's gonna use the 1,600 for education conferences?
She usually, like I think she said last time, she started to book, as she usually does, to save the county money, so many months in advance and make her travel arrangements, but it's all on a different cycle than our.
I've recently booked her a conference for next spring, and we saved $100 for filing early. I've yet to make her hotel reservations and her plane travel.
Okay, anybody got any questions?
Also, Commissioner, is there a clarification on the impound lot, what you decided to do?
30,000 is going into the capital budget.
Oh, okay, into the,
Yeah.
great.
I gotta check on that, it's either 30 in there or 30 in administration building. I think it should go in capital, that's why I asked Kathy to put it, but
Yeah.
I'll check on it.
Because if we could have something in there for that project too on, because I can't tell you how much it's a daily chore. I mean, we're going back and forth now as it is to those other offices on a regular basis now. But it's just not private, it's, we're not set up over there for that, and there's a public hallway in between, so if we could just keep it within the office, it would be more conducive to trial preparation and stuff, which is our primary concern. I mean, we have victims in there yesterday, and, we can't have that kind of stuff going over the top of the cubicles. It's just not, it's not right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Nursing home.
You folks gonna wanna see me later on at dessert time? Or you just let me know?
Yeah, we'll come get you
All right.
somewhere after, probably after, oh no, I guess it will be. Probably 11:30,
Okay, thank you.
before lunch, hopefully.
Is that for here as a closed session?
Oh, see, would you like?
Tom, did you want non-public or to come back? Non-public, or is it open?
No, it would be consultation with council.
Okay. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I've asked everybody else, has there been any changes in your budget since we met last time?
Just the changes that were sent to you for the new equipment.
Changes for the new equipment? Like?
I think you had them last week, but we didn't meet with you last week.
You didn't want?
We didn't meet with you last week, it was the week before, but I think you had this information last week. I don't know.
It's new from 2 weeks ago, but
Right.
not new from last week.
Nothing, no equipment in administration.
Yes. the
Dietary, I had two.
files. No, we
pieces
have
of
some in
equipment.
administration, the file server. You should have an equipment list that was sent to Kathy.
$5,500.
25,700.
Oh, that's dietary. Nursing home administration
Yes.
is what?
25,700. That's the new file server that we talked about.
Okay. New equipment in nursing home administration.
And it was how much? 25,000? 700.
It does have 3 laptops here, there's too much paperwork.
Too much, you're right.
Who's left to guard the place? Who's watching?
Al.
$25,700, all right. And the information technology, that's strictly by contract?
Yes.
By the file server upgrade, the 25,700, did you have the details? Do you have something,
I
what it is,
believe
what are they
John's-
getting?
I believe you used the same specs that were used for the file server that was over here. I don't have them with me, I can get you a copy.
Okay.
That's what he related to me yesterday as well. Because what's being done for the administrative building here is what he's proposing for the nursing home next door.
Yeah, he did send me an email, but I'll get you a copy of it, but it's the same that they upgraded here.
Okay.
John, did you check on, or get any estimates on changing that over, the boiler over to the laundry? hot
I've
water?
asked, and I've asked a couple of times, and I haven't got a
Okay.
good response yet. They're going to get back to me.
Who have you asked?
I sent it out to the engineer, McGill Engineering, Mike Duval from Denron, and CTI, the controls company, the ones who did the original installation.
And no changes to dietary budget, right?
No. And I did ask why that hot water system wasn't included originally, and the only response I've got so much, which isn't much, is because they were unsure of the future of the nursing home, and they wanted to keep it minimal. That's the answer I got.
Okay, but they knew laundry was gonna be there. It wasn't gonna be in the new building.
Not my words.
Okay. Okay. All right, I don't have any questions on dietary, do you?
Is the new equipment that you needed for dietary, is it in this original,
5,500?
Yes.
Power mixer and a grill. What's the grill?
It's a panini grill. It's a countertop.
$900.
It's a clamshell type of a
You know what
grill
paninis
that
are?
will do two sides of a sandwich at the same time. We're using a home style one right now, and we really needed 208 volts. So we were testing out that product and seeing if it was going to be profitable for us, and it is. So we should go ahead with it. We'll make money on it.
Okay. Okay. Our agency staff is down,
We hope to keep it that way.
and that's at 12,000 now, right? That hasn't changed.
I may have had one last weekend because we have 2 people out on FMLAs right now.
Our shortages in LNAs,
Over the weekend, it was in regards to an RN, which is harder to
RN?
come by.
we're not short on RNs.
We're going to be advertising because we are becoming short on RNs right now. We have full staff, but we need some per diem backups.
Okay.
Are RNs or RNs, do they have to be certified in New Hampshire?
Certified in what? We have to be licensed?
Licensed, I meant licensed in New
Yes.
Hampshire, yes. Okay. Just checking.
Well, we have a compact, so we do have some that are licensed. in-
Reciprocal agreement.
Right, reciprocal agreement with Maine so that you can't.
But not
go out-
Massachusetts?
No.
I just happen to know somebody, so that's the only question I'm asking.
And we're going still with 5 lifts?
Still, we hope to have 2 from this year's budget, and we're looking, I think we're budgeting for 3 for next year, for a total of 5.
You have in mind, though, if I'm not mistaken, to increase it each year?
You know, we're seeing greater and greater acuity. Originally, the building was outfitted at roughly the 25% level, the 25 to 26. And we're finding we're already first year into it, we're already at capacity there, so it's likely to be a need to add 3 to 5 each year,
Up to?
up to 103.
So you are looking.
Plus
for
including
the
a lift
total.
in the tub room, and also there's a couple of other common area lifts as well.
Because the concept originally was not necessarily to have it in every room.
I think you hit it almost exactly right on, because it has actually worked for almost the entire first year to have the right number. So it could come to pass that we won't need to get beyond the 50% level or the 75% level, but I'd rather plan for the worst. And if we get to a given year where we have a surplus, we won't be coming back the next year for additional. But for the foreseeable next 2 to 3 years, I think it's prudent to think in terms of 3 to 5 lifts per year. And that might be all we need is for the next 2 years.
We're talking about it because people are more obese these days?
Well, there is the bariatric, the weight issue, but there's also what's happening everywhere is people are getting more and more care for a longer and longer amount of time at home. So by the time, and then they might be looking to assisted living. So by the time someone needs nursing home care, they're further along in that care continuum than they were certainly 10 years ago. It's going to translate into shorter stays, but a higher nursing acuity, greater level of care for while they are with us.
From a staffing standpoint, these lists will easily pay for themselves in a reduction in workman's compensation claims.
Understandable, just checking.
You got any more questions on that?
No.
On that item? On equipment?
Yes, the file cabinets.
What are you needing that for? What kind of?
That's, what happens in my budget is under education and equipment, medical records and staff development fall under the nursing budget. The fire cabinets are, we're getting 2 this year out of our remainder that we have, and 2 for next year. We have to retain medical records in a fireproof environment. Some of the areas that we're storing in the old building aren't completely sprinkled, so therefore we have to put them in a fireproof environment. So you're looking at, they're expensive. Fireproof fire cabinets are very expensive. One alternative is, we did have the presentation the other day that if we go to an e-document storage system, that will alleviate the purchase of fire cabinets because it will be on computer, saved in 2 locations that can be regenerated.
Right.
So, you're looking at $3,000 a year for 2 file cabinets versus the program that down the road would save you a lot of money. But that's what those cabinets are for. They're not for nursing, they're for medical records.
Okay. And I attended that presentation. That was a very good one. And I asked the gentleman if they can come back in a public meeting, so we have it on video. And I think it's a good way to go. It will save us also lots of money on paper. Look how much paper we have now.
What did he
Times
say?
3.
Did he give you an estimate what the cost would be?
And was that an estimate?
Was there an estimate for the
Roughly, it was
cost?
around, I believe, it was a $20,000 cost, and then there's a yearly cost to house your, beyond, that's the purchase price, and then beyond that, you have to pay for the electronic storage.
Yeah.
But it actually is stored in 3 areas. It's stored on our own server, it's stored on a server in Hooksett, and it was supposedly stored on a server in Pittsburgh or someplace like that. So you've got 3 revenues of getting it back in if something happens to your...
Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, or Pittsburgh?
I think Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Because
Pennsylvania.
by HIPAA, you have to store off-site somewhere as well.
Many people are
think it's
predicting
more-
that it's going to be a requirement at some point
Really?
in the future, that it won't, electronic medical record
That's
storage
true.
won't be
Yeah.
an option, it'll be a requirement.
Yeah.
I think it's more efficient too. And in the long run, it will save us money. All the paper what we have
Definitely.
and what we printed, and every time,
Saves
there's
the
3 times the
trees.
commissioner also.
Okay. Get back to plant operations. You don't have any better feeling regarding the heating and electrical and the pellets as to what you budgeted for?
Well, the electrical, we have monthly statistics to back up those numbers. I can't offer anything more than that. But as far as the pellets, I would really like to have 1 year of history, 4 seasons, to at least have something to start with. We did reduce it by $30,000. Could it go
Right.
more? Possibly. I don't know. I don't have that answer, and I'd rather have it not need it than need it not have it. I don't know how you feel, but
It's just, you look at the figures, and for heating, it cost us $140,000, and you budgeted $110, but you added $80 for pellets. So now we're talking about $190,000. It's $50,000 more, and we should be saving money.
No, it should be a reduction total.
The only
Right.
variable in that would be the initial supply, the initial inventory of pellets is a one-time, almost like a capital expense that should always be there. So your first year would be a little bit high, but it would seem,
Well, yes and no. We pay as we go when we purchase the inventory, a silo at a time, which is about a $6,000. Every time we fill that silo, it's $6,000.
Mhm.
And we budgeted for 400 tons, which is roughly 11 fills. But I think the overall energy costs will go down.
I'm just thinking when delegation looks at that, they're gonna say, well, it cost us $141,000 to heat it, but now it's gonna cost us $190,000. That's $50,000
Yes, because we
more.
only took 30,000 out of the heating and added 80 for the pellets.
Yeah.
No, but that 80 should have come out of the heating. Maybe we did that wrong.
Well, that's why I asked you. You
Yeah,
said-
no, I think, no, that it's going to be a total reduction off those two lines combined. I think that we may have to look at that again, but I think that you're going to see an overall reduction this year of $30,000 between those two lines, not an increase.
so a conservative tack might be to stay at 140.
It's possible that we presented those numbers wrong to you. Let us look at those again.
Right now, for heating, it's $190,000,
What was it last year?
including
I have it in
pellets
front of me.
and propane.
Because we originally left last year's budget at $1 for pellets and put all the money into the
Yep.
heating line,
Right.
Yep.
expecting to move money to the pellet line as we bought pellets, because we didn't know what it was going to be.
Yep.
Expecting a reduction in cost. I still see that, I think we can move something to the pellet line this year, but that's going to reduce
That's
the
what we
overall
did.
heating cost.
We got 80,000
The
pellets.
pellet line, that's what it would come to. But then you told me to only take 30,000 out of the heating, which is what I did. So you want the 80 plus the 30 out.
Yeah, because it's going to be, overall, it's going to be less money.
Right.
Pellets are less than propane.
All right,
So that reduces the heating
Yeah.
to what?
to 30.
To 30, okay. 110 to 30, is what you're saying.
So 30 in pellets and 110.
No, 80 in
80,000 in
pellets.
pellets and
Okay.
30 there.
You're safe with the 80,000 in pellets,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
Right
because
now
that's
you
what we
got
budgeted for 400 tons of pellets.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's going to cause an overall reduction in the heating line. And if you add those two lines together, this year, I'm comfortable with it being $30,000 less than it was last year. May turn out to be more,
So,
which would be nice, but I don't know that, I can't tell you that.
More savings. not
Yeah,
more
yeah,
money.
more savings, I'm sorry.
so what are the bottom line figures we're talking about? 80,000 for pellets, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what should the propane be?
30.
Right now, it's 110.
30
30.
Should
is what
be
he said,
30?
that's what he wanted, right.
Yeah,
Really? That low?
no, you're going to knock that. I think we need to just go back and.
Yeah, that can't be.
All right, send us over a figure as to what it should be. It should be,
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going down to 150 total between the pellets and the propane.
It'll be less.
That would give you a little bit of leeway with a cold winter coming.
This, it won't take long to, 10, 15 minutes, we'll have it right.
Okay, okay.
And if there's a communication problem, I apologize, but we'll get it to you, and it'll be less.
What do you consider maintenance labor in your
That's the
budget?
$2,500 line,
$2,000 line.
the $2,000 line.
That's journal entries from the farm that Kathy does. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I've never made a move on that line.
right.
In or out.
Okay. And you got $3,500 in there for a carpet cleaner.
Correct.
total? Just that one piece of equipment?
It's going to turn out to be less, but if you buy the initial batch of chemicals, it's going to be somewhere around that figure. I'm putting in $3,500, and I'll be able to refine that when I come to you to ask to purchase it, if you let me.
Okay.
May very well be less.
Do you have any questions on plant operations? Any questions on laundry?
How much are we putting in for the propane in the old nursing home?
The only thing that's in the old nursing home that's on propane is the laundry.
So how
Right.
much are we?
Well, the propane boiler is still working because that's a secondary part of the heating system. In other words, if the pellets,
Backup.
the new nursing home is primary. If
Yep.
for some reason we have a drop in temperature and the boilers are having a hard time keeping up, it'll cut the wood pellet supply of heat off to the old nursing home and direct all the energy towards the new nursing home,
Mhm.
which means that the propane has to take over. So the propane will still be used, but only as a buffer, a redundant supply of heat,
Mhm. Okay.
and there's no meter on it, so we don't know exactly how much it's going to use.
Should there be? Should we have a
I don't
meter?
think it's worth the expense to install a meter.
If we know what's gonna happen to the old nursing home,
Yeah.
we could figure that.
We can talk about that another day, but right now I say no.
The, doesn't the heating of water run on propane?
Mhm.
for the old-
That's what he's checking on,
Domestic
see if we get that changed over.
Oh, yes, but in the meantime, it's not
And
changed.
I've got a question about the pellet boilers, where it falls into the budget. They're housed in the old nursing home under the 9,500 line, but it's primarily being used to heat the new nursing home.
Right.
If I do any work on that, where do I
Charge to the new nursing home.
charge it all to the new nursing home?
Yeah.
Even though some of it is...
It's only minimum that's being used in the old nursing home, right?
As much as the boilers will support. This time of year, they're heating the old nursing home. January and February, the propane boilers might kick on to help.
Yeah.
So there is, I guess technically, there's some electrical expense, there's some maintenance expense
There
that,
should be minimum.
but it'll be minimal.
Yeah.
But if you want me to write it all off to the new nursing home, I will. I just wanted a little direction from you.
We only have, what, $30,000, I believe, in the old nursing home, right?
The budget.
Or in the annex, we're calling it the old,
Yeah.
the annex. 30,000, I think, is in there,
Right.
and that includes everything, whatever needs to be done over there. Right?
Yes.
All I've been doing over there is basically keeping the building breathing.
How picked up is it? Yeah, I mean, is it still stuff laying all over the place?
No, it's in pretty good shape. There's some furniture that's scattered in some rooms, there's some mattresses that are scattered, but for the most part, the building is picked up. If you were to walk somebody through, it's presentable.
Okay. Okay, housekeeping? Any questions on housekeeping? Fully staffed, right?
Well, we were hoping for one more.
9, including yourself.
Pardon me?
9 people, including
With
yourself.
myself, and we were hoping for one more. We had asked at last
You were hoping for one more?
for 40 hours.
That's actually in the budget.
It's in that budget.
It's, okay, 40 hours, yep, I got it.
I'm waiting next year.
Okay. Now, all these other budgets, physicians in pharmacy, physical therapy department, those two in particular, that all fits in with the revenue.
Not the physicians and pharmacy.
No, that's true.
But
But the
part of physical therapy does, there's some salaries in there, but the other part is for therapy, special services
Yeah.
is what you're thinking. That's pretty much all tied to revenue.
don't know if you have the answer to this. Medical insurance for the recreational therapy department was down 29,000.
Kathy gives me actual at the time that we do the budget, so I know we did have one employee that left. I think
Couldn't have been
she held insurance.
$29,000 worth.
No, but I don't know who else changed. Like I said, I just get actual
Right.
numbers
Yep.
when I do the budget.
Okay. All right. You got any questions on any of those? Special Services Department? The Special Service Department, is that the only place where criminal records are checked? That's the only department in a nursing home?
Well, that's for everybody in the nursing
That's,
home.
yeah,
That's where
but it's the only,
that's the only line item.
Line item?
Yes.
all right, let's look at revenue. Any changes in the revenue?
Well, I just changed out for the increase. We had just gone up to the 290 instead of, the first one I had given you was the split revenue when we had.
So what figure you have now?
The total is 10,624,813.
10 million what?
624,813.
813? They have a line item for the cafe, is that a problem?
No, I requested that, hopefully
Okay.
we will.
We do.
Okay.
Okay, great.
All right, so where did you make the changes when you increased that? What line
I'll
items?
change the Medicaid line item, change the private pay line
What,
item.
what did you come up with? What was the figure?
In Medicaid,
Room and
it's,
board?
yep, 6,975, 683. You should, did they not get new?
I
numbers?
have new sheets. for
You've
you.
got them all?
Yeah, I've got all.
All
the
right.
numbers.
I don't have
Yep.
any.
I was gonna say,
Yep, we got them right here.
Okay. But all these others are gonna stay the same?
the Medicaid one changed, the private one, and then the Medicaid contractual allowance. I believe those were the only three that would have changed due to that. But like I said, Kathy has all new figures, so we should have new sheets.
Okay. You have any questions for the nursing home? Any other changes that were made by anybody? No?
I do have here, I don't know if it would help with you guys deciding on the pellets and the propane.
Yeah.
A detail right through this week.
For both
propane and pellets. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about it now or go back and talk about it, but here's the.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It might solve the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Because these are the
Yep,
propane and then these are the pellets.
today.
Yep, so, you know, if you did that once a month.
Okay, thank you.
We were talking earlier, and they're gonna get back with a figure
Yeah.
of 150,000 total, including pellets and propane for the new nursing home.
Mhm.
Right now, it's 190,000.
Yeah, looking at those numbers, that would probably be sufficient.
Did you check on the propane per gallon cost? The last load we had?
He's got it
Truck's
right
out there right
Say
now.
on the-
They're filling it up now?
Well, I see prices here.
That was it.
I don't know how to read the date in this, but $1.96, $1.87, $1.86.
Yeah, our most recent was one.
No, propane.
Yeah, 128.
Oh, 128, so.
That was 119.
That was-
Where's the
I
date?
thought it was 119.
That was paid November 16th.
128
128, that's
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
for Isha?
The lowest one was 128.
No, lowest is 119, right
Oh,
above
it is?
it.
Oh, yes, it is 119.
But it went up.
It's gone up
It's gone
since
up.
that last one, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Getting
it
close
was
to
at
winter.
1 point, 119. That is valid.
All right, do we need any of these people here to finish up
I
the
don't think
budget?
so. Unless,
Okay.
you want to make that decision now on the fuel and pellets.
Yeah, that's fine. I projected BTU for BTU, $60,000 savings, burning pellets versus propane. But you got to take into consideration efficiencies of the pellet boilers versus the propane, so those numbers may not be correct in the end. But if I cut that in half to be conservative, because we don't have a year history, that's $30,000. I think we can take $30,000 off the total heating budget, still put $80,000 in the pellet budget, because that's what we're going to have to spend for pellets. But if you add those two lines together, there should be, this year, we're proposing a $30,000 net reduction in those two lines.
That would be 160.
However that math works out.
So we're still at 110,000, right? 80 and 30?
Right, would be 110, but you only want
You can take out $80,000
of,
out of the heating line.
right. So
Okay?
you still want 60,000 in the heating and 80 in the
Yes.
pellets.
Well, I don't know what the heating line is.
140?
104, it was 140 last
Yeah,
year,
you can take 30 off of that,
which we did, which was.
and then
100
take out the 80 and bring it down to the pellet line.
Okay.
See what I'm
So
saying?
I mean,
that'll-
take out
So
110
that'll be a
total.
$30,000 net reduction.
Right.
I think I lost them. What would your then heating expense be?
So then he only wants 30,000 in there is what you're
30,000,
saying.
okay.
In heating,
So
and
the
80
total-
in pellets.
And 80 in pellets is
The
100.
total cost would be 110,000.
Right.
That's 30,000
what
I
you're-
don't have the
less.
numbers in front of me, I don't.
No, we have 80 in pellets.
80 in pellets, what was the
And-
propane?
It was 140.
140?
So if I put 30 in there, it drops it down from 140 to 110 between both of them. That's what you're,
That's the math.
okay.
If
All right,
there's
that's-
a net reduction in, of $30,000,
All right.
I'm happy with
So I'll do
that.
new worksheets and send them over to Kathy when I get back.
So you want 30 in there, Paul?
It might be cutting it a
In the
little
heating,
close.
yes.
Okay, in the 80, so,
In the
okay,
80.
all right, I can do that.
I never like to bet against the weather. Mother Nature has a way
Yeah.
of.
Especially if,
It does, certainly, feel free to modify that, because I'm just going with projections that don't have any history to support them.
Why don't we go with 80 for the pellets and 40 for propane?
Okay.
That gives you 120. That's 20,000 less than what it was last year.
Still a significant
So we
savings.
can drop it
Still a
more next
significant
year if we
savings.
have to.
Exactly.
Okay,
That was the whole idea.
okay. Yep. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate some of you being there on the 10th of December when we present it to the delegation.
Because I think they're coming in.
At least the two of you.
I spoke with in Hamilton yesterday. I think there's a breakfast for the
Oh, yeah.
delegation first.
yeah,
What's,
7:30.
how's that going?
She said she talked to her late yesterday. Apparently, Rob, she's been in touch with you from the Cooperative Extension Service?
I don't think they have to sign. They are the employees, they don't have to sign. They don't have to sign.
No.
They don't have to sign.
To sign in?
They don't have to sign. I need to know who they are.
Oh, you just
Because
want to
they've
know?
spoken.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they're just gonna sign, she did, it's just, Okay, so next time, I think.
Well, I stayed up last night to reduce the budget. And,
Not reduce by much. You won't get everything you want. And you didn't
well, they
get-
got good reasons for what they want. I mean, the only thing we did was right here with fuel.
We have all the names. I know. It's over there. Okay. I don't think I got everybody, but I can ask.
Okay, Kathy, what do
Okay,
you got
so-
for us?
What, were there any changes this morning? Here's the expenditure worksheets.
Where do we stand right now with the figures that you have?
The figures that I have were the new figures from the sheriff's department, and I don't know if you made any changes to those.
More fee.
You made more changes?
Yeah, I got something on my desk this morning. That were the changes, the new changes from the sheriff.
From the sheriff, yeah. So I put those.
And they were in there.
Those were
And
in,
in
are
our-
in there, yeah, and this is the revenue. Okay, so do you want to just go through it and I'll explain?
Yes.
Okay. The commissioners, we didn't make any changes last time. Treasurers,
So the commissioner's budget is up by
1%.
1%?
Yep.
Okay. Treasurer is 0, I mean, it's,
Yep.
stays the same. Special fees and services,
I didn't make any changes from last week to that.
and what's the percent there?
What was the change? Percentage change?
That's up $10,000 from,
Yeah,
Are we in human
because
resources?
auditors, no, special fees and services?
and legal fees. I put more in legal fees than we budgeted
Yep,
in the past.
okay. Human resources, did we get that straightened out between their computer and the office computer?
Yeah,
We did?
yes.
Okay.
My
You get
computers
yours because
was
yours
out of-
burned out.
Right, came out of our new equipment
Yep.
account line.
Okay.
I don't know where the confusion was on their end, but
But Janice Sullivan said that the computer, what she had there, went to you.
no,
That was, so the computer where the former HR director had didn't go
no,
to you?
no. I had my own,
Because she doesn't have it.
she has, the PC that Janice has right now was Robin Reed's.
Okay,
But
And
she
it's not
said-
working properly, so she's getting a new one,
she's getting the new one.
yes.
The
She
one that
said-
you, go ahead, go ahead.
She said that it went to you.
No, no,
And when I asked her who told you that, she said John Rich of Cybertron told
no,
her that.
no, I got a totally new,
But her
And it-
computer has nothing, it's totally blank. It's black, she said, there's nothing there. So she said that was not her computer.
it was Robin Reed's that
Yeah.
that was in that office.
All right, your computer was purchased out of
Our
Commissioner's budget?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, yep. That was,
So
All right,
back to human
so-
resources, what was the change?
human resources is down.
right, human resources is down 0.2%. A lot of that is in the medical insurance.
Okay. And waterworks?
Waterworks is down 4.3%. And the biggest part of that being down is the vehicle lease purchase.
Yep.
The attorney's budget is up only 0.5%. And that's because they did not budget funds in that civil commitment line,
It's
And I don't know.
up, it's up 0.5%.
0.5%.
Okay, Commissioner Kenny would like to have the part-time person,
And the big,
instead of the figure we have of 1775,
Yeah?
she wants to make it 18.5. The paralegal, we had 41,100. She wants to make it 42,295, 291, right?
What did the county attorney recommend? What did he put in?
those are his figures.
The-
Yeah, I'm going with his figures.
So are you going with his figures, basically?
You're increasing the budget, right?
I'm increasing these two salaries
Okay.
on the recommendation of the county attorney.
So you're going to what he was requesting?
Yeah.
What he recommended.
Yeah,
Okay,
just change those two figures.
okay.
But you also got to change
Victim witness?
the victim witness. So you're an agreeable, Commissioner Kenny, to increase the secretary salary from 17.75 to 18.5?
Yes, and I also want to know if it increases other people's salaries in non-public, we need to release that to the public, what we increase, so they know if we increase other people's salaries too.
What other people?
Well,
If we, I think if we're doing increases, it should be public.
we have let me ask a question. When you put these figures all together, you gave everybody
40 cents.
40 cents, with the exception of the sheriff's department, because
Because
they're under
they're
a different contract.
Yes.
So everybody got 40 cents an hour, including Jason
Yes.
is a
that-
questionable one, okay? So everybody got 40 cents.
And what did it, was there an increase in Jason's salaries last year then?
Not this, we're
Not-
looking at
but
next
no.
year.
For
Right,
next
For
year?
this budget, I put 40 cents
40
in.
cents.
But what was the last one? Did he
I'd
got an
have
increase?
to look. I don't know if his was any different. I don't.
So we
Okay,
got,
so we have the
we
secretary.
got two people now are going to get more than 40 cents an hour.
Unless the victim witness too, are you gonna go with?
The victim witness,
So that would be 3.
is that the one you want to increase to?
The, which one was he talking about? He was talking about his
Salaries.
office staff or not, his management there.
Yeah, he's talking about,
He's talking about a paralegal and I think,
And the part-timer.
what was the other one?
the part-time.
Yeah, she's actually full-time, eh? She works for,
Yeah.
Two
Yeah,
part-time
this
on
is-
each side.
So, under victim witness, you want to increase,
that is a different one, huh?
no, it's the same person, but it's shared. The salary, secretary salary, from 17,750 up to 18,500.
Yeah, that is what he recommended, yes.
So now for salaries for the victim witness, you're recommending that it goes from 41 to 45? Actually, it
I-
goes from 39 to 45, so that's a 40. It's about a $5,000 raise.
I have to think about that. Where did you put it up? You put a 40 cent for her salary?
I did.
We put 40 cents in there for 41,000. So you're raising it $4,000
Above that.
above that.
So 41.
Problem you're
I
gonna
think
run
I would
into.
go more with 43. I wouldn't go with 45.
Just coming out of, off the top of your head?
Hmm?
It's just off the top of your head?
Well,
Well, he brought this again. She's still one of the lowest or not. If you look at all, she's still one of the lowest, even if we increase it to 43.
Yeah, here's the list that
He brought this package in.
Given our years of service, 8 years, people who are there for fewer years than she are earning, one, if they're a year less than she, is earning $10,000 more.
Okay. The question came up, there's no reason why we can't make her salary.
Right.
Okay, let's make her salary. Can I hear a motion that we make the victim witness
A salary position.
a salary position?
Okay, so move.
Somebody making that a motion?
Yeah, I move.
You making a motion?
Yeah.
You seconding it?
I'll second it, yes.
Any further discussion then? All right, all those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So let the minutes show that the victim witness position is now a salary position, not an hourly position. And it should be 45,000?
No, we have to
This
think
is
what
what
it
she's
is going to
earning.
be.
Here's somebody from COAS earning $10,000 more.
Yeah.
That's the nearest in years. If you want to go into the exact number of years, that's down in the state.
So the recommendation
That's 64.
Yeah, but that's
the
the state.
recommendation is 45 then?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
That is what he put in, 45.
yep. If you look at these. All right, change that from 41 to 45.
We're not doing too well at reducing the cap rate.
All right, registry of deeds, we haven't made any changes. They're getting
No.
40 cents?
Yep. Yes.
So that's up by, 22,000? Explain to me, under new equipment and registry of deeds,
Yep.
that doesn't come out of our budget, right?
She has revenue to
Yeah.
offset it.
Yeah, right.
So her budget is up 4.5%.
But when
But a
you-
big part of it was
Yeah,
that volume covers
yep.
that she hasn't been doing. With that and the new equipment, she would be at 2%.
Should be at 2%, yeah. Okay. All right, the sheriff's department,
Did he go over his?
we dropped, yeah, we dropped the bailiffs down $5. Is that what you figured?
Right, the one, so it's 123? He gave us 123, 293, page 8.
123, 293?
Yeah.
So that's $5 now, coming out of county dollars, right? And it was 10.
Well, that's what he was budgeting for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sheriff's is up 5.5%.
Did he give you a list of new equipment?
He did not give me the list. He was going to, but he
Okay.
did not give it to me.
See if you can get that from him. And Dispatch center. Man. What percentage is that up by?
It's up 6%. But more than half of that is the people that are on the medical insurance. It's a $28,000 increase in dispatch.
$28,000.
Because it's up 49,000 for his whole budget.
Yeah. $49 and $28 is the medical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Medical referee stays the same.
Yep.
Administration building,
Is down 1%. We did some changes with the electric. We
Yeah.
reduced that a little bit.
you dropped to $6,000.
The 6,000 is still, yeah, we dropped 6,000 because he's at about 30,000 as of, that was September. He's pretty comfortable with the 50,000.
Okay. Human services, that's up
3.7%.
almost 150,000.
Yep.
3.7?
Yep.
And that's all due to the state.
Yep.
Okay. Maintenance,
It's up 3%.
3?
Yep.
The sewer system? Down?
It's down 13%.
13? See, percentages really throw you off.
I know, when
because
you're big money and little
big
money.
money and little money. I mean, that's only down $7,000, roughly.
Yeah.
And it's 13%. Okay. All right, jail and house of corrections.
On the jail, you had me adjust the, that new equipment line to $10,000.
Yes,
That was for the firearms and
safe.
the safe. So the jail is up 2.3%.
2.3.
Yep.
Did we take out the fence?
That's in the capital
Oh,
expenditure.
okay. And the farm is up
Basically $40.
$40.
Yeah. No big changes.
Okay. No changes in interest.
The one I want, and yeah, long-term debt, those can't change.
Right.
Because they're given. The regional appropriations.
Yep.
I need to ask you what to do with that. The child advocacy.
Advocacy, they went up $10,000.
Yeah. Everyone else was level funded.
Okay, leave it right now.
Okay.
Convention is the same?
Yep.
All right, capital expenditures.
So.
Now, he took out the cattle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not reflected in here, with, the 30,000 is for the lot. The impound lot, do you want that in there, or do you not want it in there?
Yeah, that's in there on the administration building?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, leave that there. Now, the farm, did that include livestock?
That did, so he was
So you take out,
he was downstairs and we talked about it, and he
Yep.
said that he wanted that out.
take it out. That's
Yeah.
3,300.
Yeah. The other thing was, I know the wood processor
Yeah.
is in there, and we had talked about some, spreading the options out.
Yeah. Cost us additional $7,000 for 3 years?
No, I
No?
think he said $2,000.
No, the total would be 7 for
Right.
apparently interest rate.
Well, 24. Yes, if we did that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if we did break it out over the 3 years, the first year would be, instead of 24,000, it would be 14,500, because we have 9,500
Oh,
in this
right.
year's budget.
Right.
So the first year would be 14,500. And he was saying that if he produced more wood and more income, we're not tied to paying, you could pay more.
Yeah, yeah. Which would reduce the interest.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's in there, and it's that, so it would be 55,500.
500. Yeah. Okay. And now into the jail.
Yeah. The jail was for the cameras.
Right. Okay. And the annex was 30,000, the same.
Yeah.
I don't think were there any changes made in the nursing home?
Just that, what they were making today.
That heating,
Yep.
okay, that's in the plant operations.
So the total would be 120 between the two, the pellets and the,
110.
130. 120, 120, 120, 120, 120.
so 40 and 80.
Yeah. So you're reducing that by 70,000?
Mm-hmm.
And laundry stays the same, went down actually. Housekeeping went up.
%2.
And physician's pharmacy is down
Yeah.
11,000.
Yeah.
Physical therapy department
It's down.
is down 25,000. Recreational therapy department is up 5,000.
No, it's down $22,490.
Under, oh,
Recreational.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one.
It's down how much? Oh,
2,491.
2,000. I thought you said 20,000. I'm looking at this.
Social service department is up 5,000, 4,500. Special services is up. $63,000. Hopefully that'll show
Yep.
up. What do you got for a percent increase without taking out that 70,000?
Here's a little, with what I have, budget is up 3.5%.
With these figures being those that we cannot control.
Right, and these are the ones that, correct. So it's up 952,000, and the expenditures that we cannot control are 962.
So budget is up by? Deanna?
3.5%.
So out of the 1,200,000, 962,000 of that, we had no control over.
Mhm.
Or?
Well, we do under new equipment.
Right.
So the 962, it's that unemployment?
No,
What
no,
is-
no,
What?
that's
Oh,
the
it's
total.
7.5. Oh, okay, I'm looking at a wrong line.
Capital expenditures, we have control. So we have control over we don't have control over 700,000 of the budget. Unemployment, insurance, medical insurance, retirement, DEAS. All right. That's that. Let's look at the revenue.
Okay, so I'll give you the revenue sheets.
Yeah.
I did.
Is it?
Okay, yep. I made a couple adjustments on the revenue.
I don't know if I get that. Did you get that? I have expenditure. Do you have, is this mine, this one? Do you have one from me?
That's expenditure.
There's another revenue. From last week, I made, there was a couple adjustments from the sheriff he gave me.
Mm-hmm.
that's in here now. Did he explain any of that to you?
Court bailiffs.
The grant funds, he put at only 10,
Yes.
and the details he put at 3,500. Did he explain that?
No,
No.
didn't mention it at all.
Okay.
Did he explain it to you?
No, no.
Apparently, they're not gonna do very many special details. If you look at his budget,
I think that's what the chart he said.
He's not gonna do them?
I think that's what he said.
Okay. Well, that's their choice.
Yeah.
I mean, this year, as of September, they had done 10,000 in details. That's probably more realistic. I mean, this time of year, they don't do details because of the road.
Mm.
Nobody's doing road repairs.
Well, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking more like stopping for truck drivers.
I think they do
details.
that during the summer.
Seems like Christmas and Thanksgiving should be a good time to do it.
the special details expenditure went up by 3,500. And he is expecting $3,500 income, so just balances it out.
So I didn't change any other of the incomes. Where I did some changes was under the surplus to reduce taxes on page 3. I put that at 1 million instead of 500,000.
Oh, so you up to?
Boy, and we're still up,
But you gotta understand the proceeds from the bond, I still only put 500,000 in there. This past year, we had 1.175. The balance, because I'm not sure what you're gonna wanna do with the old nursing home.
yeah, yeah.
The balance is about 1.6. So if we take 5, then
Say that
we're at
again?
1.6.
Yeah.
And if we take 5, that leaves 1.1 million left.
And that's what the figure was to do, that's what the,
With that,
yeah.
But, you know, when the delegation starts meeting, they may make a more solid decision, and you could, you know, perhaps use more, or,
Yep. So, the surplus to reduce taxes, that's money you're estimating we're gonna have at the end of the year?
yeah.
And where is the majority of that coming from? You know?
Mostly the revenue.
The revenue is up,
From, remember that pro-share money
oh,
that we
right, right.
received?
And the deeds is up a little bit.
And deeds is up, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So would you like me to go back and make those changes?
Yep. Should drop it a little bit.
Yes, it'll drop it.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? set?
Lord, lot of paper.
So I'll go make the changes. Do you want me to come back up?
No,
Are you
we're-
gonna be coming down?
We're coming down, but have the paperwork that goes to the state, so I sign it and
The
clerk
three of
signs
you
it?
sign it.
Three of us?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a cover sheet.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna, the town, we wanted to go to non-public. I don't know whether he wants to go to non-public or not.
Tom?
Yeah.
Yes, he said.
He does?
Consultation is
Yes.
He does? Okay, that's right. Okay, I guess at
And
this
I have-
time, then, we'll open it up for public comment.
And don't forget, I had one thing what I was going to bring up, the check.
Yeah, we got that under non-public.
No, the check,
Oh.
this is just for public.
Oh, okay. Damon, you got your hand.
Yeah, I was wondering if Kathy was made aware that you cut the perimeter fence?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so, last week, the amount to be raised by taxes was up about 1.8 million. Now is it down to about 1.2?
Yep. And it will be more, it will be less than that because we take out 50,000 out of heat, out of the nursing home? 110. Oh, God.
120 was 140 last year.
It was 140. Yeah, we took out 30, additional 30,000.
Maybe put it up to 120.
Yeah. No, we took out more than that.
No,
Huh?
no, it's, I just had it.
The total last year was 140 for propane.
Plant operation. Plant operation went down about $50,000.
Hmm?
Plant operation in total went down 50,000.
50,000,
Yes.
okay. So, yeah, the figure's gonna change by 50,000.
And that was the only, it seemed like you had a lot of little adjustments, but I wasn't sure how much you were taking from each one, and you're adding some for the attorneys, or the
Not the
county
attorneys,
attorney
for
staff.
the management, yeah.
So, what's your question?
So what I'm saying is just, are we about $1 million over last year? I mean, if you've been keeping score.
Yeah. Keeping in mind that now the state, remember last year, they increased us by, I want to say 300,000, but this year they increased us by 148,000. DEAS.
And you're saying it's something like 700,000 you don't have control over.
700,000. Unemployment, insurance, medical insurance, retirement, and DEAS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, totaling close to 700,000 increase. Unemployment, $7,500. Insurance, that's on property, $13,400. Medical insurance, $158,739. Retirement, 167,864. 167,864. And DEAS is 148,250.
So this is, so the medical insurance went up 158?
Medical insurance went up 158,739, yeah.
What was the total on those five?
What's that?
What's the total on those five?
Those five, so I'm adding,
I have
Yeah.
495,753.
20,000. 178, 179, 180, 280, 340, 350, 450, 500,000, approximately.
500,000?
Approximately. That's round numbers.
500,000 are the ones that you don't have control over.
I have 495,753.
Thank you. That's what I said, approximately.
So it's not 700,000.
No.
It's enough.
Equipment, wages. Oh, shoot. Okay. Anybody else, public comment? Yes, Mr. Brown?
What is the new number now between the budget and the amount to be raised by taxes?
Yeah, we've always had those figures. What happens is, one year, like last year, we put $1 million something to reduce taxes. And we're not able to put that amount of money in this year. So
That was from surplus?
Yeah.
So, last week it was 750,000 difference between the budget and the amount to be raised by taxes. So, do we have a new number now, today, between the budget and the amount to be raised by taxes?
Right. You want that figure? Our budget, we gotta make a couple of minor changes, 50,000, but our budget is up 3.5%, minus the 50,000, whatever changes that makes. To be raised by taxes is 9.7%, minus that 50,000.
Do we have dollar figures?
I have $335,305.
The difference?
The difference between the 1.2 and the 95.2.
What's the 95 to?
95.2 is is to be, is a budget increase. 95,2043 is a 3.5% increase in our operating budget. Okay, to be raised by taxes, it's 1,287,000. Because last year we put more money in to reduce taxes out of surplus, but we don't have that this year.
The amount to be raised by taxes is approximately 1.3 million over last year.
Yeah.
And then out of that, 500,000 is just you can't do much about.
Right.
And so that, what's left is the 1.1 million? That's, is that what is left out of the contingency money from the new nursing home?
No, I think, did she say 1.1?
Yes.
That's what's left then.
Yes, can't be used for
We used
reducing
up
taxes.
$1 million last year to put towards that payment.
So there should be left over of 1.5 million then. Because you said it was 2.5 million total left over.
Yeah. That's what she figured today was 1.1 million. As of right now. I'm wrong. 1.4 million. Because she said she wanted to reduce the, she wanted to keep 1.1 million in case the delegation decided to do something with the old nursing home.
Exactly.
Right, but she said that
500,000.
she had, as of right now, it was 1.6 million, and she wanted to use 500,000, which would bring it down to 1.1.
Right, yep, yep. If we could get somebody to make a decision on the old nursing home, it would help considerably. I mean, it's gonna cost us to take it down, or it's gonna cost us to refurbish it for some use. But if you look at it from the standpoint, should cooperative extension go in there, the county would be saving about $43,000 a year rental that cooperative extension is paying up in Conway.
Well, they're not paying it, we are.
Well, we are, that's exactly right. Yep, county is paying it. If they were down here, we wouldn't be paying, we'd be saving that amount of money. With a few exceptions, I mean, they're gonna use some heat, they're gonna use some electricity probably.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. But I think that's, to me, it's a no-brainer, they should be here, but just to save the taxpayers' money. Anybody else got any public input? Yes, Melissa?
Well, you may have no control over the DEAS spending or money that's owed to DEAS.
Yep.
Would you say that the delegation has control over
No.
that? At the
No,
state
it's all
level?
done by Concord.
They are
Health and Human
Well,
Services.
I guess if they would not cut their budget that much, in that sense, they might have some control, yes.
So it's a result of cuts in the Department of Health and Human Services budget at the state level? It trickled down, or?
I would-
I would think so.
I wouldn't say that, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Can you explain in just easy to understand terms what exactly DEAS is?
Department of Elderly and Adult Services.
Disability and
No,
adult.
it's called Department of Elderly and Adult Services, which takes care of those services needed by people who are disabled and.
In Carroll County.
Well, for us, it's Carroll County.
Yeah.
For the state, it's the entire state.
So the county has to pay for the care of
Yes, a
its
portion. Yeah.
elderly
A portion,
when they're in the county or when they're out of the county?
yes.
No matter where they go?
No matter
right?
where they are.
Just wanted to make sure I remember that correctly.
What would, I'm sorry.
Can Could I get a copy of that salary survey that was done for the victim witness advocate? And also the
Yeah.
paper that Kathy Gary handed out at the end of your discussion that shows the main percentage
I wrote on
increases?
mine, but.
Yes.
You write on yours? Yeah, you wrote on yours too.
Yeah.
Maybe she's got a copy.
What is your?
Mine is clean.
I
Yours is
have,
clean?
And I just,
Oh, almost clean.
I just
Did
want
you
to
make
make sure
two
that I was
copies?
clear that the perimeter fence is out of the budget. The
Right.
cows are out of the budget.
Yep.
The impound lot is in the budget. The wood processor's in, and the jail cameras are in.
Right.
Right. What was the amount for the jail cameras?
I think it was around 40,000.
Yeah, it's, number comes to mind.
the telecommunication, the phone is out too from the jail.
And are you going to finance that wood processor, or have you made that decision?
Haven't made the decision.
Not yet.
No, we haven't made that decision.
On
It
your-
would cost the county $7,000 more over the 3-year period. And maybe that's a decision at the delegation. I'd rather see it paid off and save that $7,000 than to finance it over 3 years.
And all of the department heads have an opportunity now to go to the delegation to present their budgets and fight for things that maybe they think.
All department heads would have the opportunity to go to the subcommittees first.
So they are doing the subcommittees still with the new delegation?
We'll find out on the 10th, but I believe that's on the agenda. Yeah.
Thank you.
When we talked about what's, in control of the commissioners and what's beyond the commissioners' control, there's 500,000 that was beyond the commissioners' control. But what do you think the biggest driver of what's in the county's control would be in terms of the amount to be raised by taxes? Is it the staff raises, the 40 cents? Is that a big contributor? Is it a lot of the new equipment we need? It just seems like you're getting hit from all angles.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that it was any one issue.
Well, the medical insurance is still going up. Retirement is going up.
He's talking about.
He was talking about
things
the
other
one
than
that
what
we
we
control.
can't.
Other than that.
He wants to know if there's any one
Well,
particular item that we have
it'd be
control
wages.
over.
Yeah. And it seems like you need a lot of new equipment. We have the pole barn issue, we have the wood processor, some big ticket
91,000,
for new equipment,
yeah.
all of it.
Yep.
Well, when you keep putting things off, that's what happens.
What makes it complicated is that if the wood processor if it failed, broke down and we couldn't repair it, then we wouldn't be getting in $35,000 income for the farm. The $65,000, I think, is a little high for a wood processor. But it would be paid for in 3 years.
My understanding is the wood processor would go in the pole barn,
No, it's portable. It goes right out to wherever the wood is.
but would it be stored there?
Yeah, well, I don't know the answer to that question.
The pole barn is designed to allow.
Yeah, pole barn is designed to store campfire wood and other equipment as necessary.
And it was
Most likely, that's where the wood processor would go. You're probably right.
'Cause I was getting a little concerned, 'cause I heard the pole barn might have to be pushed back a year, but if we get a wood processor, where will we put it?
We put it right where the other one is,
Okay.
right where we're storing the other one now.
So we don't
Right now,
necessarily
it's in the
need a new
building.
pole barn. We don't necessarily need a new pole barn to hold the wood processor.
Not for the wood
No.
processor, no, it's for the wood.
It's to hold the wood
Okay.
so that the inmates can work on it during the wintertime, bagging it and so forth. Yeah.
Where were the cows gonna go then?
In the field.
Where were the cows gonna go?
In the field.
Yeah. They weren't gonna go in the pole barn?
No.
Where were they gonna be housed?
Probably in the piggery where the pigs are.
There's a barn down there.
And there is another barn that's a storage, it's a, where they store mulch hay. By the way, we have still a lot of hay left over. So our income from the farm for hay is probably gonna be down, but we've got it in the barn to sell.
So
Be carried over to next year, maybe.
if the cows do come back around next year or the year after, will we need to build an enclosed area to
No.
have the cows?
No.
To keep the cows out of the weather, no?
He only had $3,300 in the budget for 2 calves. That included fencing, that included water, containers, I forget what else, veterinary expenses.
Does it include the boat?
What?
Does it include the boat?
I don't know. Anybody else got any public input? Yeah,
Who did the work on the pole barn?
he did most of it.
Okay.
He and the part-time labor,
And
and
some prisoners.
3 inmates, I believe.
They didn't hire
Maybe
anybody?
only 2, no. Let me back off and say, yes, we had to hire a crane to put the rafters on it.
Who did that work? You know?
I don't know who we got. It was, I don't know what it was. I want to say $800, but don't quote me on that. And then the other was the cement piers that the poles were attached to. I think that may be all. Now, that was purchased over 2 years, because some of the metal roofing was purchased last year. Some of the rafters, we had to make up 6 or 7 more rafters. What I think is gonna happen is he's gonna shorten the barn itself.
Lower
If
it.
any were destroyed, or any of the wood destroyed, you just decrease it by a bay. Anybody else, public input? No?
Move to,
I have my check.
Okay,
what I
we
was-
need to go into non-public?
Yeah, but I have my check what I was
Okay.
going up. I had, not too long ago, I brought up, there was a $8 and $10 filing fee for the 501c3, and I asked if there was money appropriated, and I didn't hear anything, and Commissioner Solomon was absent, and then she come the other week, and she said, Commissioner Kenny did her research. She should ask Commissioner Soderson or Solomon before I make statements like that. There was a check cut through the Doobie Fund, and it was repaid. And then she said the Doobie Fund is precisely for that. We are raising funds, and it goes in the Doobie Fund.
We
Well,
don't-
I asked for a while to see a copy of the check. The only check what I got was the original one, that $810 was paid. I find out now that the Doobie Fund is actually money left by a family, by the Doobie family.
Okay.
So it is not money raised, it is money left.
Right.
right.
And I also asked for the check, they didn't have it, they said nothing is paid through the Doobie Fund. And I have here the sheet from 2010 and 2011. It said it was never $810 paid from the Doobie Fund. There was only a fan purchase through the Doobie Fund. Here is the 2010 and 11. There's no $810.
Where is that from? Is that off? Or is that from the nursing home?
And that is from, and I talked to Paula of the nursing home, and she said it was strange. Why would we take $810 from the Doobie Fund? She couldn't understand that. She said they wouldn't take $810 from the Doobie Fund for that.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
The 501c3 is a benefit to all patients at the nursing home. I think it was a good investment, actually, to get that established. They've turned money over for the exercise trail. They had a fundraiser up in Bartlett. And it's all to benefit the nursing home. I think it was a good investment wherever it came from.
It is not about it is a good investment, wherever it came from. I had a question and asked that, and there was actually an inaccurate statement made. Yes, it is just paid to the Doobie Fund, and it is not.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with what investment and where it comes from.
Okay. Anything else?
No, non-public we have.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why we're going, okay.
We have a
Non-public for personnel?
issue, and
No,
I
he said it
think
was-
Tom DeHurst is coming for legal
Okay.
consultation.
Okay.
So I make a motion to go into non-public with the county attorney, legal consultation, and it is also a personnel issue.
All right, I'll second it. Further discussion? All those in
At
support of the motion?
12:14.
Roll call?
Commissioner Kenny, yes. Commissioner Solomon?
Yes.
Commissioner Sorensen?
Yes.
At 12:14 PM.